Take your seat, dude.
The seat of honor.
Wherever you would like to
Just have like the loud guys across from each other.
Am I gonna have to self glitch just to keep it real? Just like, yeah, and then there was a.
Yes.
Takes over.
I mean, it's probably the most hilarious idea.
The camera, the John.
Quick, catch Tasso.
Tasso didn't run the same one. I get cut away. On the camera?
Oh,
No.
man. Oh.
Oh, we are. Oh, that was so good.
Oh.
Say that, say that.
Oh.
We're here. We're
Yeah.
here.
Oh, man.
Cue music.
Do, 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 do.
You know music. We got mic.
Drop the mic.
That's all. That rhymes in our great voice.
Hell yeah, brother. Sing some Merle Haggard.
We could, but I don't know any.
I don't know anything.
Oh, man. That poster gets real friendly. You gotta watch out.
Fresh.
And clean, though.
The fresh and so clean.
Whoa.
Coming.
Oh, jeez. The shenanigans. I feel bad. I should have, like, brought a red hat.
Compared to Tasso.
Makes sense.
It's true. I was like, oh,
Because it's a proximity. I did these wedding pictures with my family for some reason. Not wedding. We did a family pictures with my family. That makes more sense.
Uh-huh.
And I was standing on the edge, but I was closer to the camera than everybody else, and it looked like I was like 7 feet tall. It's like, oh man,
I mean,
he's really 5'5".
it's larger than yeah. 5'3", 69 inches.
Nice.
giggity, giggity. Giggity, goo.
I did put on my cleanest pants. That's not saying much.
I actually tried on my cleanest pants. and
Oh, I
was
thought you tried on his clean
These are
pants. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
They're probably similar pant size.
Yeah, I mean,
How tall are you?
I got my 32 inseam,
Yeah, me too.
like a 34, 36 waist.
yep.
Me too.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
brother.
We're nut brothers. I guess I don't know. I don't know what an appropriate way you could call Gene brothers.
I guess so.
Let's see.
All right, are we
Yeah.
live?
No, we
This
don't
is
live?
Are you
Yeah.
all motion open?
No, wait.
Oh,
You're not
Wait.
live.
Wait.
Cold open?
You're not live.
Is it live
Oh,
now?
no.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
A podcast.
All right.
Alright.
Well,
Oh, it must be.
It'll be a little delay.
all right. So if we're live, I hope we're live.
So we can knock out the
Welcome.
expletives.
Yeah,
Wait.
sure.
I mean, at this point, people just expect sync lag.
Printer.
Yep.
Guys, come on.
Yep. Well, we're everybody's in the shop, so the train should be coming by at any minute.
Headphone warning.
Yeah, yeah. So episode number 100. We are live for episode number 100 here. Thanks for you guys for showing up in person. This is apparently a thing again, which is nice.
Heck yeah.
To anybody watching at home, we do have a live chat going, and we've got Dylan manning the live chat. So if you got questions or whatever, reach out there, and Dylan will.
Oh,
Hey, look at
put
that.
my bifocals
Man,
on.
we're high tech.
Hell yeah, David Blatt.
I mean, even
Alright,
with my glasses on.
well.
Oh, there we go.
Let's go.
Very nice.
He's got the old guy filter on for me. Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah.
I mean, a
Looks
little
like my
bit.
mom's cell
I
phone.
can see you now.
Can't even read that.
Oh,
So, 100 episodes. That's 100. That's a lot.
dang.
Yeah.
Like if we were a television station or television show now, we would have syndication, and then we can all just
Be rich.
be
Yeah.
rich
Yeah.
and stuff.
Obviously.
Do race car stuff.
All right, so YouTube, get on that.
Yeah.
100 episodes. That's a thing. I don't know. Did you guys think when we first started that we would be doing 100 of these things?
No.
Did it seem like a flash in the pan? Or?
I didn't think, 100 didn't seem like it was that big of a deal until like 2 years later it happens. Like, I think when we started, it's like, oh yeah, we'll fly by 100. We'll be doing like 3 of these a week. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in the little world here.
Yeah.
I didn't think that we're even gonna get one posted.
Ow.
From the
Wow.
very first one, you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
first
yeah.
one, like, yeah, it's cool. We got these recordings for
Mhm.
us to listen to later. I guess. I don't know.
True.
Yeah.
Well, when it all came together, yeah, getting to 50 was it seemed like that happened pretty quickly, but getting to 100, like that feels like it took twice as long.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard in theory that 100 is oddly twice 50.
Yeah.
Roughly
Roughly.
speaking. I mean, I can't do math on camera.
Hopefully, it's not a point of diminishing return for the people who listen
No.
to it. They're like,
No.
oh my god, this is nothing of what it used to be.
Well, and to an extent, I mean, now
much
I
better
feel
than
like
it
we've
used
now finally got broken in. We're
Much
warmed up.
weirder than he
Yeah.
It's like now everything is just going to get rolling from here on out.
Yeah, I think my beard's a lot shorter than when we didn't have a podcast.
Oh.
My beard just keeps getting
beard
shorter.
moved
I
up.
don't know
Oh
why.
no.
Oh
They-
my God.
Yours crawled under your nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Man, does that mean it's getting into your brain?
Oh.
There's nothing left in there. It's
Nothing.
got plenty of room. Yeah.
we had the COVID era that forced us to find a way to do it remote, and I think that actually improved things a lot. I would say it probably improved things, but it made it easier, I think, to keep it going once we're doing it.
Yeah, but if it wouldn't have been for the pandemic, I never would have even thought about
Videos.
doing video. But then
Mhm.
once we started figuring that out, then reaching out to anybody, they didn't have to get into the shop, or we didn't have to get them into the shop to record it.
Right.
And that opened a ton of doors. I mean, we've had people on now from Australia.
I like the live chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh is out there
He did
heckling.
the math for us.
Yeah.
Off camera.
We
Good.
don't even need calculators.
Nice.
Uh,
Yeah, like Europe, Australia.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's
People from
well,
all kinds of
doors.
different industry, well, all motorsport industries, but all different
Yeah.
facets of the industry, other racers, all kinds of crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
It's been pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah, it all started with the printer, just out there making noise.
That's right.
Yeah, the
Every
printer
time
was our
somebody needs
first
to
guess.
print something
Right.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Uh-huh.
whole Lexmark inkjet 57, 69, 420
Something like
XP, I
that.
think it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lex,
That had to be the one.
Lexmark's gonna hit us with a sponsorship
Yeah.
deal here.
This,
Doesn't
this
matter.
episode brought to
Yeah.
you by the printer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hey, if you're on live chat, I don't know which camera to look at.
All
All
of
of
the
them.
cameras.
All of you, all you guys on live chat. We-
Probably the one that's.
There we go. Thanks. We got a sick production team here.
Yeah.
We need you to participate this one. Like, this is a community event, this one, right? So it's, it's as much you guys as us to make it to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need all you guys, like, ask us questions, tell us maybe your favorite moment from the podcast in the past.
Yeah.
Tell us about, if you say something really hilarious, maybe we'll repeat it. So everyone,
Yeah.
what time is it down under? I don't know.
It's
Oh, look at the
9:45.
Australian guy.
Yeah, see, Kelvin can tell us. Lunchbox STI, somebody's been on here. That's Trey
Yeah.
Tyler.
That's Trey
Uh-huh.
Tyler.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. Viet, he's sometimes on the podcast.
Right.
He's in our production
Just
crew right
poke your
now.
head in here.
But yeah, it's sometime in the
Yeah,
9
it's-
o'clock. I don't know if that's morning or
But it's
or evening,
tomorrow.
but
It's tomorrow.
yeah, they're in the future.
I'll tell you
Whoa.
what, scheduling podcast with somebody over in Europe, that is tricky. But
Uh-huh.
Australia, that was really hard.
Yeah.
Because you're not even talking about the same day. So we got Brett from MRT on. That was like there's a little bit extra double checking to make
Yeah.
sure, like, all right, it's gonna be tomorrow for you, but like it's my Wednesday, it's your Thursday. Like this is gonna work.
Well, when I went to World Time Attack, I didn't figure my flights out very well, so I was off by like 12 hours or 16 hours.
Oh yeah.
So it was quicker for me to drive back from LA than it was for me to wait for my flight.
Oh,
So
man.
you talk about timing. You're traveling. Almost feels like you're traveling back in time. It's like I have arrived 2 hours after I left
Yep.
on my 18-hour
weird.
flight. Yeah, it's super crazy.
Well, and speaking of the production crew, we do have a production crew, and we got to thank Mike, Dylan, and Viet for figuring all this mess out.
Mm-hmm.
I basically stayed out of the way as much as possible, and I think that helped. So, and yeah,
Yeah. He's the 5 greatest production guys of all time. Dial on, dial on, dial on, dial on, and dial on.
Right.
Yeah, fire.
He spits hot fire.
yes. So I don't know if we're gonna do this again anytime soon, but I'm really stoked that we were able to figure it out.
Yeah,
Heck
sure.
yeah.
And make this all happen. So
Yeah.
very cool.
That's cool.
Dial-on kind of reminds me of AOL. Do you think we could have done this back in the dial-up days?
Whoa.
that
would have been-
We'd be
that'd have been
looking
something.
like Minecraft characters, I think, in real life
Right.
Oh,
back
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
days.
Comment about beard life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't get the beard thing.
I mean, they're
It's what is it they say? It's a beard thing you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, I think so.
maybe.
Even John's ripping his beard. John's
Yeah.
beard.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
I
Oh,
just implied that you couldn't grow a beard, and
I
that's all you
couldn't.
could
No,
get.
I haven't shaved in like 2 years. Like this is it.
That's it.
This is it. This is it.
I'm growing mine, guys.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess it is the No Shave November. So like,
Uh-huh. Now, officially,
Official.
yeah.
I guess if you're in
But-
Australia, you're on day 3 of No
That's
Shave
right.
November.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the month and year that we did our first one? I mean, it's 2019, right? So it was
2019.
like December, November
I
2019.
think it was like November, December. Yeah.
Yeah, something crazy.
So it's we're like let's call it 2.5 years in, almost 3 years in.
Uh-huh.
Dang.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's basically when all the world changed, there's a gap there. So we lost a couple months, I think. So yeah,
Mhm.
maybe let's call it 3 years. Let's call it 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pushing up on that for sure,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
And your car still hasn't made it to the track.
So
Dang.
barely.
You can't edit that out, John.
Okay. All right. So that's where we're going.
Yeah,
It runs. It runs well.
You're still
No,
on.
I can't
You're
do
still on your first car though, right?
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
War one, right?
Like,
yeah.
I'm on my third
You
drive
used
train
up all
on
the
my
roof
car.
traction. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I
net-
mean-
2 motors since
See?
then.
Yeah.
a couple
I don't know
transmission
how many
iterations.
motors before since the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
actually had a pretty good streak of motors, actually, compared
Not-
to the first
I'd
time.
say-
Wood.
Thanks, Keith, if you're
Yeah,
listening.
yeah.
Build me
Yes.
another one for a different car.
969 performance.
Yeah, yeah,
I think.
yeah. He's been on the podcast. So
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah. Couple
Yeah.
times.
Couple times, yeah.
Yeah. What? Anything stand out? Any of the episodes stand out to you guys? Are there any of them that you go back to, or?
I mean, I think my favorite formats are like just the BSing ones. It's kind of nice that we have like a little bit of a balance, except where we get some like Reese Mellons and stuff like that. But it's also kind of fun just to like, I don't know, talk shit about Tasso the whole time.
Yep.
When
Yeah.
he's like a 3 beers Tasso
Oh,
or
yeah,
a 1 beer
right.
Tasso.
Yeah.
Concussed, or like, what do they call me at work
Concussed
now? I'm TBI Tasso now.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
2 beers in.
No.
Oh.
Traumatic brain injury.
Oh.
Oh.
I never seen throttle body injection.
Yeah,
Tasso.
yeah.
Oh.
I thought you were
Just a
going to that
little-
4-3
nah,
life, you know.
Nah, yeah.
I mean, you could have 2 beers in your throttle body ejection carburetor.
Yeah,
you could,
that's
you
true.
know, they,
That's-
And
that
that's
right
just-
there.
Busch Light.
Just as smart as not having a brain, yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I like the BSing ones too. Even if they're making fun of me, which is fine. You know, you guys need an easy target.
Well, I mean, now I'm the new kid. They can make fun of me now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
not sure yet.
John and I go way back.
I'm still
Yeah.
feeling you.
We're like a
Uh,
no hazing
yeah,
zone
right.
until we get to know you.
Right.
Oh, okay.
We're
And then-
relentless hazing.
Then you'll make me cry.
Then we'll start pulling each other's hood pins before we go.
Oh,
out,
yeah.
right,
Oh,
stuff
Smash
like
your
that.
windshield out and
Just,
I was like, all right, you roll your car, you know.
Oh.
yeah. So
Deflating his tire before he goes out on
yeah,
the run.
rolling dice.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, so like I mean, our last one was just essentially shooting the shit, right?
I
And
think
Yeah.
so,
I
yeah.
enjoyed that.
It was kind of like catching up too. I think been a
Yeah.
little while.
Well, that's how it all started, and it was. I mean, let's go back to the very beginning, which was the inspiration for this was you guys were in here often.
Mm-hmm.
That was and we're having conversations because you guys had questions. We were talking about various different things, and Viet was like, "You guys should really just record this because it's so many things we're talking about are relevant to what everybody else is doing, relevant to somebody else that's wanting to build a car, or whatever." And that was the inspiration to start recording them. So like that.
Mhm.
That was the foundation. That's what we did for a good chunk of those first episodes, especially. But then like being able to reach out to guests and bring people on, it's like we still have that core, but they were able to talk to all these other people from different industries, driving different cars, different disciplines, and get their perspectives. And that's been, I think, a cool addition to what the podcast is because I mean, try and balance both of those kinds of things.
Yep.
Yeah. Instead of our half-baked ideas, we could get some professionals.
Yeah,
that
right. So,
did not corroborate.
what
any
are
of
these
our-
idiots thinking?
Right.
You need an expert on
Yeah,
your
there was
shit.
the professional awesome. We're definitely
Yeah.
like amateur suck for
Uh-huh.
sure.
Yeah, right. I mean, self-certified YouTube engineers.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
But
Yeah.
I mean, it's still fun, and that one of the coolest things is it really seems like there really is a common thread between a lot of people that are involved in motorsports. I mean, so many of these different people that we talk to and find out what their paths into racing and motorsports and driving. It's almost surprising how much of a common thread there is just from like people. They get into it, you try it the first time, you drive at the track the first time, it just grabs you, and then it's off to the races from there, literally and figuratively.
yeah. I mean, I think that's been cool in talking to so many of these guests now, is that how many of them kind of haven't forgotten where they came from or where that passion came from to start. I mean, I think like Ollie Clark, for example. I mean, that's just a dude that loves cars,
Yeah.
right? Like it's
For sure.
and it shows. And so many of our guests are like that. Heather a few weeks back and
Yep.
stuff like that. I mean, these are just folks that, I mean, they've all achieved, something in their little section, which is kind of what brought them on in the first place and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But they are all like genuine enthusiasts, which I think has been a cool thing to see play out over 100 podcasts now.
Yeah, and my hope would be that that for everybody that's listening, that maybe you're picking up on some of those common threads, and that there's maybe some inspiration to be drawn from that. I mean, it's pretty much everybody on here except for DP, because this is only his second episode, been through some trials and tribulations, and it's not a smooth path, and sometimes you get into motorsport and you kind of hope that everything's going to be easy and go smoothly. Most of the time it doesn't. It doesn't always.
Yeah.
But it's kind of nice I think it's kind of nice to hear about, what went wrong for some folks, how they overcame it, how they worked through it, whatever those issues might be.
Yeah.
Because then that's, maybe gives you some insight for issues that you guys are having, or, just helps you mentally prepare for, as you start to campaign or run your car more, what you might run into. So it's less of a surprise.
John,
Yeah.
it's been pretty smooth for me here, but like, my Forester's had kind of a rough life.
Yeah.
I bought her in 06 and then decided I was going to throw all the horsepower at it before I threw brakes and suspension at it, and
How'd that go?
poorly.
Poorly.
Turns out
Interesting.
when you lose your brakes at 100 miles an hour, your car becomes a lawn dart, and then,
Yeah, that's
then
true.
you land
What?
on the intercooler and
Yeah.
Did
it
you
catches
lawn dart?
fire. Oh yeah,
What?
that poor car was
Yeah.
crashing lit on fire. Like that was many years ago now.
That was at the State Patrol
that
track.
was- yeah,
Yeah.
and we had to drive home on 3 broken wheels and a hole in the intercooler that day.
You
Yeah.
drove home like that?
Yeah, because at 77 miles an hour it was real smooth, but at like
Oh,
75 it was real bumpy.
Where can a Subaru take you?
Yeah,
Right,
like,
that's right.
watch
That's what
this.
makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They lived.
And she's still around now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had it pretty easy though.
Yeah.
You been on fire one time?
Yeah.
Been on fire one time.
It's scary as all get out.
Twice.
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 No
Uh,
fires.
what-
So
what
Ryan,
time
I
is
got
it?
you
Ryan's got
covered.
their
What
little-
time is it? No.
I got you covered on the
Ryan's got
El Flama Blanca for sure.
Okay. All right. All right. What do we got?
We
Next episode. The BS that you have to say.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick burn. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yes. So
There's no target like an easy target. You know.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's always nice to hear from you guys that like the BSing episodes because that's just us talking amongst ourselves, and so we enjoy it obviously because we do it a lot, but it's nice to hear that you guys enjoy that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big feedbacks I get is that people feel like they're like there with us, and just like, I don't know, you get to know people more, get to know people better a little bit, what they're made out of.
Well, and Dustix, were you the first one? I think you were. This was, I want to say, back 2021 or something like that, where all of a sudden I think you were the first one that got recognized for being on the podcast.
Oh yeah, I mean, outside of the I've had pretty. I mean, we had guys, the Performance Auto Solution guys. Now that they all I kind of know them now, but I was literally at that PRI trade show talking with Jeanette Negri, who's been on the podcast a couple of times, talking about the podcast and like how cool it is to do it and blah blah blah. And two guys, the shop owner and one of the media guys, were like, "Are you Ryan Dustix?" I'm like, "What? I'm like, what is happening?" No. Of course. I mean, I was beaming, as silly as that sounds, but and then we travel. I saw those guys when I went to NJMP this year, and it was so cool to, I don't know, kind of like habernash with them and all the different people. That was probably been my favorite part is you don't realize all the people that you're connecting with through the podcast, and then they are on their own journey. And granted, Performance Auto Solutions, a whole shop in New York, but it's kind of cool to like pop in and see people on the West Coast and meet people who have been listening to you in the Midwest and the East Coast and stuff like that. So like for me, that's been just like super fun. I mean, it's been awesome.
Crazy. Like, I mean, I guess, we do this, especially like these episodes where we're just kind of talking amongst ourselves and you've kind of just lose track of the fact that there are people that actually, listen into this and like, it's not just us and putting it out there for no one, and that it's making an impact and then, people reach out, and that's been super cool. I mean, we here have the luxury of, answering the phones and whatnot. And so we get to hear from people that are like, hey, I listen to the podcast, like what you guys are doing, and which is awesome. But it's like, it's all of that input from you guys, the listeners and the viewers that, man, that's the inspiration to keep this thing going. Because 100 episodes, that's a lot of episodes. It's been a journey. Yeah. And there's been times where it's just like, oh man, can we keep this thing going? Can we keep it all together? But it's just all those like little nudges from you guys that like you like listen to us, BS or the people that we're talking to and just want us to keep on going. That a lot of times is motivation to keep it all doing.
I think, John, you've been on every one of the 100 episodes.
That is correct.
That is, you are the centennialist here for sure.
Yes.
The true marathon runner.
I think you're probably second. You'd probably be tied with Scotty. And probably Tasso would be close after that.
Tasso tied up with Viet, I think. I had that button ready, dude.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Two ejector seats wired up. That's spoilers. We didn't want you guys.
Deuces.
Oh man.
No, I love it. You should be over here.
Well, I got a manage.
You gotta do that.
Yeah.
I got a manage.
Yeah, we gotta have our.
Because he dropped like this absurd project one time. Wasn't that right? Like one of the podcasts were like, "What's Viet up to?" Like, "Oh, I'm 4-wheel drive swapping a space shuttle or something like that."
Oh, yeah, it's in the process. That's why Civic's in the back.
Yeah, it's trying to get me to buy that clap Civic back there.
Hey man,
you want a Civic SI? I'm like, wait, what?
I got a
no engine.
$4,000 if you guys want it.
Pick it up.
$1,000.
He knows what he has. Message his mom for details.
Yes.
It originally had ABS stability control.
Yeah.
It's not a number mileage.
Questionable.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. 1,000.
It doesn't even look like a Civic Si, other than the peeling roof. Yeah. The signature 8th gen clear coat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
So he's like this little hidden gem with knowledge and some weird project in the background. It's been around since the beginning.
Yeah.
In
Well,
the
he's
beginning.
doing his own Honda
There
thing.
was, yeah.
And he's half of my heart.
Ironically, the least reliable vehicle is the Honda in the group. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah.
You were also on the gun.
I know. I don't want to talk about my
Yeah, he drove an Integra.
Valentine's. I did drive a
Integra
Honda
here
too,
today.
yeah.
For the
Automatic.
Subaru podcast. They said they like
Yeah.
talking to Subaru guys.
Oh
So
man, so I gotta be at it.
yeah.
Oh dang, this is awkward.
Yeah, I've had definitely more Hondas than Subarus. I don't know if that says good things about Hondas or not. But more Subaru engines than I've had Hondas, I think.
Oh.
Oh no.
Dang.
Ouch.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Replaceable in.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, maybe not.
What are you
I
gonna
don't
do,
know. I've had a
you know?
lot of Hondas, so.
Yes.
Mm.
Well, and
You could have another.
Gotta thank David Black. Loves when you guys get point guests and talk about projects and scenarios. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're pretty great, Kelvin. Kelvin.
Yes.
Kelvin.
Why you
Kelvin?
got squints
Kelvin.
on me? And the
Kelvin,
letters
my
are
bad.
like 8 inches tall.
I got
Do
that.
you want to borrow my glass?
Jeez. Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, they're just barely, but
You're not even. You're the youngest one on the podcast. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm 34.
Yes.
oh wow,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, you're a
Yeah.
damn youngster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows.
Young
Dang.
pup.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, all this gray, I've earned all this.
Yeah. You guys may have the knowledge, but I have the looks and the skills.
Mm.
So.
Yes.
I don't
That's
have
fair.
any of
I
that.
have-
you
What
don't have
knowledge or
either.
skill.
Yeah, right.
Loudest
I-
voice. I
the
think I
Apple
would
yeah.
have
100%.
Wait.
100%.
They were gonna make me sit over in the corner just to try and level the volume.
That was
out.
our first move
Back
on
yes,
the first
back in
podcast.
the day, before we started doing anything else, we had the one mic and Dussex kind of dominated it.
We had to have Ryan just move away.
Yes, yeah. Go over there.
That was our
Just
prediction.
Go over there.
Yeah, anybody listening to the old podcast when it was just voice, it was.
Yeah.
I had to keep in mind that I was talking really loud.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, that was the thing. And it's better now. But,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
well, so let's look to the future. We've looked to the past. I mean, Tasso, you were thinking, or you were asking. It's been 2-3 years. What do we think is going to be? What do we want to accomplish in the next 2 to 3 years? What do you think we might be up to in the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So the thought was 2-3 years ago, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Never would have thought that 100 episodes. I've got an overall victory now at Hill Climb. I've also crashed a shit out of a race car at this point, right?
Yeah.
I hadn't done that before, right?
Yeah, and both of those
Um,
just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Hey, how about that?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
3 years.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Been working towards a real high-low mark.
yeah,
so.
yeah.
I mean, shit, you've been killing it.
Yeah.
The Taiku car has been like a hit, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's been fully within the last 3 years. Right?
Yeah, for sure. I think I bought that car the beginning of 2021, February 2021.
Well, wasn't it earlier than that?
No.
No.
So last year, this was my second year with it. So
Oh.
it's 2022, right? I don't know
Yeah.
where it's at for.
For
I
a
think
little
Calvin's
bit.
in
Well,
Australia. It could be
yeah.
2023 already
I
there.
think it is.
Yeah.
So
It's not just tomorrow, it's
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's no future line.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Will the Blue GD come back? Yeah, it will.
Oh,
You're working on it, right?
yeah, absolutely. So, among all the crazy stuff that's happened, one of the big things that's happened for me has been my relationship with Pikes Peak International Raceway, which I'd be wearing one of their hats right now. But I left that hat in one of our other listeners, Jesus out there.
Yeah.
He's got my hat in his seat because we had to do an emergency evacuation from the fire.
Oh,
Oh,
So,
dang.
Jesus, it's all you, man. Thank you for
Dang.
listening. But yeah, so part of that relationship is that we're gonna do the Pikes Peak Hill Climb with it, and we're gonna basically once we get back from PRI, we'll have the yellow car at PRI. Once we get back from PRI, basically full steam ahead on the blue car. So the Blue GD will be coming back with big giant fenders, hopefully a little less taped on, a little bit more secure, more welds, all the good stuff. So
more welds, more power, and
Yeah.
still 4 wheels.
yeah, still 4 wheels. And instead of a wing being mounted on the trunk this time, it will be hopefully
Full
chassis
chassis
mounted.
mount.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we'll have a fiberglass trunk.
Nice.
So big weight reduction. I mean, all the good stuff. Big tires, big weight reduction, medium or so power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More power than Tasso.
That's doors.
Less doors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Less doors for less
Pores.
cores. Yeah, there we go.
Man.
Well, Whoa.
Yeah, so yeah,
That's Tasso with ATC Racing. Yeah, check him out.
No
Yeah.
horse.
of course, yeah. So it's a 2-door ABW kit that's on it. So it's a goofy looking GD, but
Yeah,
hopefully with the wrap and everything on it.
you
it'll
ran that
blend.
at one event, right?
Yeah, we ran it at 3 events,
3 events.
and
Like
so we
that.
did Road America, NCM for SCCA time trials, which I set a class record there, and God, was the last one? Midwest Festival where it was way too fast and erupted into flames. Those kinds of
yeah.
things seem to go hand in hand.
Too much
Yeah,
friction from the air rubbing over the wide body.
Yeah, they were.
Just,
It was just like, man, this car is. Oh,
Yeah, you gotta be careful
yeah,
around the wide body.
that
Yeah,
happens,
yeah,
yeah.
that's happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
got to really focus
Sure.
on aerodynamics.
Cold lotion on that thing. for
That's
sure.
right.
But I've seen it. Well, like a grid light this year, I saw it hidden in the corner.
Yeah.
and it's looking at this point rough, but like it's gonna be.
Yeah,
checked,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like it's projects always look the worst before they start getting better.
Yeah, so pretty much all the tubs are cleared out with all the paint and growth stuff, so we can start seam welding. I just had the windshield and the back glass cut out a couple weeks ago, so I can put my roof on, so you can have my roof.
Yep. Thank
So
you.
the
Yep.
blue car roof
Need
will
that.
live on, and then so we can start putting it back together. I mean, the upside is that basically PPIR is taking my workload off of me so that I can focus on the car, and they're hopefully going to give me a little bit of help with manpower and of course financially as well too. So yeah, big love to PPIR and
For sure.
hashtag
Yeah.
Gold Rush.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So that's helped pay for all this
Yeah.
stuff.
Uh-huh.
We
You
talked
know,
about
so-
Gold Rush last episode, but I'm going to pull that out and we'll put it up maybe even tomorrow,
That's cool.
just with all the details of what that is, because that's cool for you guys, PPIR,
Yeah.
but that's something that you are now running or you're putting on.
Yeah, the little brainchild of it
Yeah.
for sure.
I think Gold Rush is. I think from an outsider's time attack perspective, I think it's set to kind of change the time attack game a little bit, right? Like
Yeah.
let's up the stakes, up the consequences, up the builds,
Yeah.
all at once. So
Yeah, I think when I mean, PPR is 1.3 miles. It's only like 9 turns, and not to get on a huge Gold Rush tangent, but when I see some of the lap times from some of these other infamous tracks like Lime Rock and stuff being in the sub 1 minute, I'm like, psh, this track doesn't seem as small as it used to be. I'm like, oh, 2-minute tracks. So like I did 2 minute 12 seconds. I mean, shit. Now I'm thinking like, okay, this could be pretty wild. So.
Yeah.
thousands of dollars per corner.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, not to get on a huge tangent there. I mean, that's 3 years ago. I was working in the oil field, and now I'm practically homeless. I'm a trailer RV driving transient.
You live at the track.
You drive
Oh
your
yeah,
home.
that's right. I mean,
Yeah.
live at the track. Yeah,
You
yeah.
live,
I
literally live at the track.
Live
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
track. So
You can take the hood off your home anytime you're parked.
that's
Just to
right.
try and keep it cool.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So
What you
my-
got, Lewis?
Ooh.
I don't
Oh.
see your question.
I don't see.
I don't see the question either.
he's waiting for them to answer it. Hell
I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
We'll get we'll get Dylan on it. We'll find out what
Say
the
it again.
question is.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Popped up. Send it again, Lewis.
Send it again. Play it again, Sam.
As the kids
Oh,
say,
that's-
send it.
Yes.
Not the right movie, huh?
It's
Let me
not,
Sam.
it's not Fast and Furious, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Nothing matters.
that's the old
Nope.
Casablanca.
Yeah.
Nice shirt, Bilkins.
Yeah, we're almost. We're not in black and white at all.
Uh-huh.
I have a
I mean-
theory that Lewis might be talking about the phones.
Oh.
Yeah, we're
Dang,
pretty-
look at the solid.
Dang.
Yep,
Ooh.
dial 1-800-Flatiron 69420, and you got to make sure you hit pound to get the right
That's
extension.
right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, I'm waiting for them to answer the phone. sorry, Lewis.
Ask your question here.
Yeah.
Hit
It's up. We're here.
Put your credit card number up there. We're all waiting.
We'll take your order right now.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, I mean, so what do you? Let's go back.
Yeah, future.
back-
Yeah, right. Yeah, I
Forward.
derailed.
Oh,
I
yeah.
derailed. Yeah, right.
So PPR or Pikes Peak Raceway, Gold Rush. You're doing the Pikes Peak Hill Climb next
Yeah,
year. I mean,
yeah.
what do you want that to grow into? What are you hoping to move in?
I mean, I hope that for me, the hill climb, I think the biggest thing for me with the hill climb isn't about trying to break any records because we're going to be way off of that. It's like, that's not going to happen. I'm not breaking any records. I'd be pumped with
Finishing.
novice, whatever. Yeah, finishing actually.
Finish, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to be under 11 minutes. That's what my
Okay,
personal
okay.
goal is. But I think for me, the hill climb, the biggest thing is that I want it to help. I want to do it to continue that path and that direction of helping other people get to places. You know, like I started autocrossing, got people in autocrossing eventually.
Yeah.
You know, I started doing, like time trials, and then helped people get on track and get in the time trials. You know, started doing endurance racing with lemons and stuff. I mean, we've banged doors a couple times together.
Mhm.
You know, and I like helping people like create answers and solutions and how to get there. And for me, I think the next step is part of that next step is the hill climb, and maybe the Pikes Peak hill climb might be the thing that we all want to get to eventually. And it's not going to be an easy answer on how to get there, but I think being part of that experience, I've got to be part of the experience with you guys and your team from the sidelines and from like the practice days and stuff. And so I'm excited to like add that feather in the cap of experience to try and help grow people if that's the direction they want to go to. Does that make sense?
For sure.
And then eventually World Time Attack, and then they could tell you about shipping which shady Russians you got to deal with to get your cars over there in containers.
Go do at the Millen House to do a hill climb on their
Oh, Leadfoot Festival.
Leadfoot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
New Zealand. That would be
Leadfoot,
ridiculous.
That would be thick. Yeah.
So I just look at the hill climb as like I really want to do it. It's not going to be an easy thing. It's a big chunk, but I think for me it's like my continued contribution to like the advancements of Subarus and motorsports and trying to create access to it.
Yeah.
So it might not be that. It might be that we try and do some other things to make it easier or cheaper for people to get involved. You know, I've been part of that in Colorado motorsports already with time trials, ease and access both financially and just trying to help people with like the right answers to save themselves money.
Well, and like picking the path, going down the path, and then finding out what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done our best to let people know what we found out, what works and what doesn't work on our Pikes Peak car. Pikes Peak car?
Pikes
Peak car.
Pikes. It's Pikes Pikes car.
That's what.
And there's peppers and pickles or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
pickles and peppers. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's that even that in and of itself. I mean, that shortens the path for anybody else that wants to get involved or get into any of this madness for sure.
Yeah.
That's definitely a big step. And so yeah, I mean, you're kind of blazing trail, and hopefully we can give you some ideas of what to do and what not to do. But then you can pass that on, or we can cumulatively, put that together for other people that want to build a car and go out there and race Pikes Peak.
Absolutely. I mean, you're kind of the hill climb captain when it comes to the off-road stuff in our little world, right?
Yeah, Captain Hill Climb. Yeah.
Captain Hill Climb?
Captain Hill Climb.
Yep. He can, I think you've demonstrated what not to do. When
That
you're-
wasn't even a hill climb.
when you have a championship on the line,
No,
don't
yeah,
go out.
It's fine. Yeah.
Oh man.
Just don't rally sprint when you're hill climbing,
Yeah.
Rally sprint when you're trying to hill climb, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the old saying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going around?
Wise person said.
Yeah.
But I mean, well, you're putting the Subaru to the top of the hill climbs.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah. So right. So I want to continue that is my goal. I think really like to summarize it. I have this like just wild, I don't know, like a internet friendly term to put this ultimate flex that I want to pull on the hill climbs.
Oh.
I was going for a much more graphic version. But don't worry about it. It's fine.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
YouTube has limits probably.
Probably.
So my goal, my idea here, right? So rally cars, street legal, that kind of stuff like that. I want to drive the car to a hill climb, win overall, and then drive it home. And that's a pretty lofty goal as it is. Yeah, right. So then, after that, it becomes try and do a perfect season, driving the car to events, and that's a pretty big. I mean, even a perfect season is pretty wild.
Now define perfect season. I have a guess, but
I don't want.
I don't
want to put you define.
do you mean to say that you want to be able to drive your hill climb car to all of the events, win all of the events, and then just drive it home?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know. I know it's. I mean, I always figure you gotta shoot for the stars if you want to drown in space. But so that's my shoot for the stars goal, right? Because I mean, I didn't think overall was possible before.
Right.
But shit, we're here now, so why not keep aiming high, right? So
Why drive it to the hill climb? Like, what is?
Why not?
Well, it's uncomfortable. You got to bring like 18 sets of tires. Look at all the shit on your.
I would
you look at all the stuff
still
that's
have
on
a chase
your trailer.
vehicle. Yeah, still probably run chase vehicle if for nothing else. Just it's way cheaper to get yourself home.
Yeah.
Than it is to call a tow kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, because rally cars are weird like that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's kind of cool that they're like for this the white car I have now. I don't know how much I talked about this last podcast, but the goal kind of is lighter, faster, stronger in every way than the last one. So a little bit more horsepower. None of it's crazy. You know, get into those 2500s mark from the 2660 that weighed before.
Right.
Not for horsepower, for pounds. You know how much it weighs.
Pounds,
So lighter, better, faster, stronger in every way, more reliable. Part of that is I want to leave it street legal because I miss like going to Cars and Coffee and stuff in it, which I wasn't doing anymore, right? Because it didn't have headlights or wipers.
You were driving it.
I did before, right? I mean, the red car started out as my daily.
Yeah.
And even after it won its first championship, I was still dailying it. In class, championship in class, right? So there's a little steeper competition in the class now, and I've kind of like, now that I've achieved an overall, like the metric for a good weekend for me is now an overall, right?
That's,
like nothing
that's now
else
the
will
standard,
suffice, right? So, because scope creep. But so yeah, like, and like I was saying with the other folks that come on the podcast, like I'm still a car enthusiast. Like I still love like turning off diesel fuel cut and just like popping down canyons, like, pum, 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 pum,
Scared
pum,
of horse,
right? Yeah. So,
I don't know why. How I know. But...
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. So I think maybe that's a 3-year goal, and then just kind of like you're saying, opportunities as they pop up, right? Like it's we've been fortunate to have some of these doors open for us. I think both of us would agree. So try and keep myself in a position where when those opportunities come up, I can just slam right through that door and try and find the next one. So, So
for sure.
That's kind of my thought was. And then I want to keep up. I saw it in the chat too. I want to keep up that healthy dose of narcissism.
Yeah.
If I don't love me, who's gonna?
Yeah.
Right.
That's not true. My wife will. She's really nice.
There is. I had this same kind of conversation with about narcissism with Ferris Khartoumi. He's like, why would anybody come out and try and win? I was like, you know how many people think that they're the best of all time?
Oh, yeah.
Like everybody who races cars is like, I'm the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Best Super of all time, just anything I'm driving. What do you think?
Oh,
no, yeah, that's fair. Anything you're driving.
Okay.
But I mean, it is filled with. We are filled with alpha, personalities in racing.
Ivan Stewart said it about Robbie Gordon. If you want to take some real deep motorsports references here,
Oh boy.
that he's a little cocky, but all good racing drivers are cocky, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we all believe that we're the best. If only we had this, then we would have totally won that day, right? So,
well, it's be part of what pushes you too. Like if you didn't think you could do, if you didn't know you could do better, would you try to do better?
Right.
So that kind of is the thing sometimes. I don't know. It's definitely hard to be humble sometimes.
There's folks that do well humbly.
Yeah.
But I think they would do better if they were cocky.
Wow. Okay. You might be right.
Like I said in the last podcast, there's nothing I've ever said that I wouldn't go back on, including that statement.
Leaving the back door wide open.
Yeah.
Okay.
I stand by nothing.
Quotes and everything. I love it.
Yep. Just throwing myself right under the rug.
Yeah.
What about you, John? What's the big push here? We got 3 years in. The Subaru, the yellow car is getting. Your yellow car is getting closer, right? Your wagon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deflection.
Man.
Wow.
You got a hoverboard.
You gotta roll the dice. What is it they say in what's that dice game that people play?
Gotta play to win.
No, where you have to roll the 20 for deflection.
D20. Well, no.
Dungeons and
Dragons.
Dragons. Yeah. Right.
You only gotta roll a 20 to get the deflection.
I was gonna slide a hand or something.
Woo!
Anyway,
you don't have
you
to.
got it.
Train's like, what a nerd, but Train knows. I have no idea. I saw it on Stranger Things, so that just shows you how hot button topic I am.
20 is actually critical hits. Some weapons have critical on 19 and 20. What you actually need to do is roll your armor bonus, and then that gets the 2 minutes.
You know what it is? I'm on a motorsports podcast, but the only podcast that my wife and I really listen to is actually a Dungeons and Dragons podcast.
Yeah. Is it Adventure Time?
Yeah, it's Adventure Zone.
Adventure Zone. Yeah.
Shout out McElroy Brothers, because I know you're listening.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So okay, cool.
Yes, the Blue G's are God's chariots. 100%. I was even telling you to quit getting on the GC trends and start getting on the.
I got a GD. I'm good.
See?
I'm good. I mean,
Yeah. GD Master Race.
Yeah.
Hashtag GD Master Race right there.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Did they see what's on that screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably like shaking their heads right now, like, "Oh my god."
That's barely a blue.
barely a blue car.
Barely blue.
Always be the blue car in my heart.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
It's mostly blue.
Sure, yeah. I'll paint like something red
Mm-hmm.
on my car. It's the same car. It's a
So
red.
deflection, I think you rolled a 20. So what have
Oh.
you got? So
No,
what's
I
that? What's the
just saved.
future?
I just
mean,
saved. So you need to.
Yeah.
actually-
Wow.
Alright.
Yeah. Saving throw right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so I don't know. I mean, I want to get back to the track. I haven't found a way to do it in a way that I could actually enjoy getting back to the track. yet.
Sure.
Was I there the last time you were there? Was it like years ago when I was borrowing those slicks from you guys?
No, I went.
No.
I think a couple times after that.
I like dive bombed you a couple times and everything.
Dang.
Just
Yeah, I remember
didn't
that.
know
No,
better
no,
at
you
the
didn't.
time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That was no, it was a
Jesus.
couple times. The last two times
Aggro.
I was at the track, I had trouble with the aero separator and the catch can filling up and all that
Okay.
sort of
I was
stuff.
not there for that day, but I remember.
But I mean, it's just I want to do it. I want to get the car where I want it to be before I go out there. It's close. Yes, it is very close right now. And in fact, like there was a plan to bring it in the shop, like even last week. Didn't happen. This week is probably not going to happen. But I mean, soon I will get it in here. There's some videos we want to shoot on it, like going through some things. So I mean, actually, maybe the end of the year.
That's
Maybe.
cool. Get it out to the Flatirons to open lap day.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe.
on
Yeah.
the STI suggestion.
Also, shout out for Java Black Pearl.
Yeah, it's a really
Java
good
Black
color.
Pearl Life.
Yeah,
and
it's
the
really
fog.
it's a really good one. I can't.
Isn't
I'm
that
not
what your
gonna-
old like beat up one you was, or was it just like
the free bug guy?
yeah,
the hood
was
rat-
it just shit
hood
bug
rat
black
daily?
or something?
No, I don't know. It was probably some faded.
Hood rat black.
It was just I don't
There
know,
was no pearl
janky
left in
black
it.
shit was what it was,
Yeah.
not Java Black Pearls.
No.
Yeah, Sonic Yellow is the best super color ever, but it's kind of you guys to chime in with that.
You saying Remo Red? Although I now have an Alpine White, so now
Right.
Alpine White is the
Alpine
best.
White?
Yeah,
Oh,
so,
okay.
I think
Yeah.
closest to Daily and Subaru is probably you,
Yeah,
right?
say I do daily my Forester. Actually, not.
No,
But
you
just
don't.
once in a while. Like I brought it today because it was quite an
Yeah,
ordeal.
it's
I was
right
like,
there,
it's a
yeah.
special day. I was like, I'm bringing it for the special day.
Oh, it's not a Prius. I forgot about
Yeah.
it. Ooh.
Say that's the daily
Mm,
because
But to be
God.
fair,
I
like,
mean,
he is driving a little ways.
I do have
to get
like
in, so-
42 miles each way. I come to work, but
Was that Dylan's GC I saw with the Corbos?
No, that's
Corbos?
Wyatt.
Wyatt.
that's why.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
there's a couple
Yeah.
of them
Wyatt
out there.
project. Yeah.
I drove an Acura Integra, as I've already been chastised for, with an automatic
Drove a
transmission.
Dodge.
Yeah.
So you run a
Cummins.
Ram truck with a
Cummins.
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 You
Yeah.
know, I heard a
With
joke the
belt
other
I
day.
got a belt buckle on. I'm not gonna show it because my belly's on it right now. But I got a Cummins belt buckle on right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
so,
Nice.
yeah.
They had the joke
There you go.
about how the Chevy dealership, where do I take my Chevy to get it fixed? I don't even know where the. If I had a Ford, I would know where the repair shops were.
Yeah.
And then there was like somebody like, yeah, Dodge is like, oh,
Dodge
you're
guy's
poor.
just off in the corner right now, like
Horse.
neck deep in grease, like, huh?
What?
What? You guys have time to talk? Shit, I'm busy.
I can't believe your
man.
cars break down in you. I can't remember the last time mine ran.
No, yeah, I just worked on it yesterday. It's
I was
not-
actually looking at your tires and thinking, how does he get any fuel economy with those things? Those things look like the worst daily tires
Diesel
I've
power.
ever seen.
Yeah.
I think that's that diesel life.
I got that Cummins diesel motor.
I got a Cummins diesel too.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, it was a
8.3.
3.3, yeah.
Yeah.
Medium duty life, yeah.
Medium duty, full duty.
To be fair, where Tasso lives, he probably needs the biggest, gnarliest off-road
Yeah,
tires
that's
about
true.
6 months out of the year.
yeah.
Yeah, it was fun when I was daily in the Subaru still. It actually,
Yeah.
like my drive to work is about an hour, a little more than. I
Yeah.
cut like a solid 10, 15 minutes off that, not even
Yeah.
trying when I was daily in the Subaru.
Yeah.
It was real good.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
guess truck doesn't handle real good. Solid
Yeah.
axles front and back. Got pretty decent
Yep.
sway bar setup, but with
Yeah.
those 3/4 ton rear springs, that traction bias is way forward, so it'll
That happens.
roll
Yeah,
right into
that's the same.
oversteer. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
nice. So it's-
I do have a
Pretty good.
Subaru that's going to be my next daily though. I got a '97 high roof Outback.
Nice.
Yeah.
Keith just built me a short block for it.
I'm looking at a first gen Legacy right now, like a sedan
Oh,
turbo,
yeah,
okay.
turbo shell. I'd have to put a motor in it, but
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
For
Right.
daily or just
for daily,
okay.
yeah. I mean, what's a daily?
Yeah.
Anyways, right? So
Mhm.
they're all toys.
Mhm.
Yep.
So.
William, we're going to answer your question in a second, but I just want to, DP, 3 years in the future, do you have any plans? Do you want to get back to the track? Do you want to start?
Oh
tracking
yeah,
more? What do you think?
I 100% want to get back to the track. Really, the only things holding me back are the things that will hold us back is money, time,
Money, yeah.
and I need to order some new coilovers because I have one that is NFG, not functioning good.
Oh dang!
So there's that.
Oh,
I got
didn't know
some
that's
max
an
speeding
FG,
rods. I'll give you.
I mean,
Max
Hey, I've
speeding.
tracked my E36 on some MXPs, baby.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I had a ball at the track because you show up in like a wagon of that size, and you pull out the tent and the tires and the toolbox and your lunch and the kids' toys and all the things. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna have a really fun day.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's why
I had
wagons
a
are
ride.
best.
Like they are. Wagons are
Yeah.
the best. But
I disagree.
like I just there was nothing quite like hauling everything I needed and just plopping up my tent and then everyone hung out under the tent because it's like 100 and some degrees on track. Like,
Hashtag
that's
long
kinda
roof
nice.
life right there.
Yeah.
Right?
The last
Yes.
Rallycross National Challenge I went to, I drove. It was out in Grand Junction, so I drove the 4 hours out there in the red car with all the tires and jacks and tent and stuff just shoved in the car with me,
yeah.
and it was fun.
It's
So
just fun.
sedans are where it's at.
Yeah.
Yes, but
It's like
full
a wagon.
interior,
It's
heated
like a wagon,
seats.
but good looking. That's what a sedan
Oh,
is. So.
Ooh.
But if it was a wagon that was good looking, it was already a wagon.
Alright.
Yeah.
So we appear to be at an impasse.
Indeed.
Yes.
Well, also the
Right
arrow
here.
is better for the
We're going to
sedan.
have to
Yeah.
agree to actually know the wagons
I
are
mean-
more aerodynamic. The WRX wagon is more aerodynamic than the sedan.
Before everybody starts jumping over the table, let's try William's question.
Yes.
Oh,
And if you daily super,
Well,
what is it?
and William, so what DP's talking about, his car is a 2004 Forza XT.
Yes.
That's lowered, and we'll find some pictures of it maybe at some point.
Although he was saying it's lowered, but still taller than a GC. It's
yeah, like
perfect.
it's still taller than Dylan's car, just sitting there. I was like,
true.
Oh, it's not
oh,
even a GC. It's a GR.
it's a,
Yeah.
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 I was like,
Dylan's
dang
driving
it.
a GR. See, there's a bunch of Subaru
Yeah, but-
DDs out here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't drive it.
We are in Colorado,
Yeah.
That's the
where it's like the land of Subarus. I got
That is
passed
true.
by 18 Subarus today on my way there.
Colorado's Ram country.
Some of them look like some of the Subarus
I mean,
look like
depends on what brand.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're from like Northern Colorado, like me, CSU, Ram Country, absolutely. I
Yeah.
come down here and it's like, wait, there's buffalo
Yeah.
everywhere. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
No, they're great. My wife Daly's a cross track. And,
Yes.
And we were talking about, man, like, because I got a coworker who just picked up the brand new Bronco. And I was looking at it, and I don't know if you can tell yet, or if anyone in internet land has figured out, I'm really cynical about cars. I hate pretty much everything. But I was like, the Bronco's kind of cool, right? It's like they obviously
cool.
hired some folks and listened to some enthusiasts or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know, but the Crosstrack's pretty good. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, the Crosstrack is really good. I'd rather have probably, I mean, especially for daily duty, right? Like
oh, absolutely.
mileage, it's great. It actually handles great, I think.
Yeah.
The Crosstrack, especially like on dirt or snow or something like that, because it's
Yeah.
not all stiff and low and stuff. So
center of gravity.
it's a little high, yeah. I know. Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm
High
saying with the
center of
Super engine.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
in
yeah,
general.
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Of the
CG.
Subarus, it's a little higher,
Yeah.
maybe. Or,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's answer William's question. What do we all daily?
Um,
So Dusix, automatic Integra.
2001 Integra.
Okay. Tasso.
Right now at 2003 Dodge 2500 quad cab, short bed, single rear wheel, Cummins,
Cummins.
Wow.
automatic.
hey, look,
unfortunately.
there's my car.
There's the wagon.
There's the platypus life.
Yeah, big ass intercooler hanging
Yeah,
out.
it-
That's a
So-
huge ass center cool.
Yeah.
I had to
It's little.
keep in mind that it was
31 by 12 by 3. It's small.
That's a really small picture, so it might actually
Yeah,
be a
it's-
small.
It's a note card.
It's only a couple inches across.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little tiny thing
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Do you daily or Beamer, or which one do you drive?
Largely the BMW. Had a window issue that I need to address, but yeah, pretty much between the 335 and then the 4Runner. In the winter,
okay.
4Runner.
I really
Yeah.
think you should just let us do a video of doing that regulator and back. I mean, it'd take
Huh.
no time. Have a couple
Yeah.
beers, have some fun.
Is your regulator riveted in like they are in the older BMWs?
No, it's all bolted.
That's good.
Yeah.
Drill that thing up.
No.
But
Yeah.
you could mount up that regulator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just need to do it. It
Yeah.
gets the best mileage of any car that we have, so that's why I usually drive it in most times.
Direct injection.
The Beamer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the one you did the whole thing
Mhm.
on. Or, yeah.
yeah,
Go
Yeah.
back to the old YouTubes. You'll see.
Yeah,
the,
it's
you'll
on
see
there.
the BMW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Right.
I've been driving the Subaru more. I try and get it in at least one day a week. So
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah,
The yellow one,
yeah.
it moves.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were going to bring it today, really, John. Like, I was kind
thought
of
about it.
like crestfallen when.
Just drive it to the track.
I
We
don't
never
know
had
what
it
I'm
so
doing
good.
wrong. I
Ah.
didn't even think about it.
Jeez.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. How do you start tracking a Subaru? I don't know. Do you
Drive
know where
it.
a track is?
You know where a
Just
track
drive
is.
to
Drive
it.
it to
Yeah.
Just drive it to the
Just
track.
drive it
I
to
know,
it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I work slowly. I work at basically a
Yeah.
paint drying page
Yeah, we
in
know.
these directions. Yeah.
Especially in this.
But is it the drying or is it the curing? Because there could be a difference there.
Yeah.
You know, paint and body
Oh,
life.
interesting. That
Because
is
it dries
key.
24 hours, but cure times can take quite a while.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, it could be like the Hoover Dam that's been there for like 60 years and it's not actually done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We do. There are a lot of you on here, Bud Posts or Bro or whoever on the local Facebook
So
groups.
much.
There's so
It's
many.
insane.
Holy smokes! And there's
I'm-
also a Subaru tax out here too. Like
Yeah.
it's cheaper to drive to another state to buy a Subaru than it is
Yeah.
to try and get one
Yeah,
here.
it's
Yeah.
well worth it to
Colorado.
look outside of Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pacific
That's cool.
Northwest, great Subaru country. I got some friends
Yep.
out there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know what I was.
Say,
Yeah, I don't know
you're
what that was.
shouting out.
No, they're not dead. They're
Shout out to our
Not
Hub
yet.
Pulling out for them.
Oh,
They're
geez.
just out there. Yeah, right.
Gee.
Uh-huh.
Man.
Yeah, I met a lot of fun Subaru guys and stuff when I was up at the Ridge. So
Yeah.
lots of
Yeah.
fun people.
That's
Gamma gets it. Yeah, make a good car, then I won't be so cynical.
I mean, I might be biased, but I really do think my 11 Prius is a pretty good car. It's
It's a-
extremely
It's an 11-year-old
good-
car.
It's a
Yeah.
good point A to point B.
It's a
car.
11-year-old
It gets me
car.
here,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it looks like a golf ball, and I don't care. But I
Yeah.
love that little car because it's just fun. Because it's like it knows it's not fast. It's
So,
not glamorous.
We gotta
but-
probably draw like a division here, right? Because
Yeah.
there's good cars and like that's fine, right? Like
Yeah.
one time I was in Greece and we had some shitty little white 4-door 4-speed NA maybe 3-cylinder thing. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
And it was fine. It was a good car. Right?
Did you
Yeah.
write home about it? Like take a picture of it, turn it into a postcard, send it. Hey mom, out
Yeah.
here having fun.
Check
And
out
like,
this sweet little car. But
Dear
it was
Mom
a,
and Dad,
it
I
was
had
a
the best
good
car.
car, but it was a shitty car, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
just go ahead and just rip this Band-Aid off and start this war. Like all Hondas, they're good
Ooh.
cars.
Oh, okay, it's gonna come over there.
You just offended the guy that's making this all work. That is not good.
Oh.
No, but like honestly,
Says-
right? Like
it is the '98 Honda guy
this
though. you know,
cynicism is
not the
just a shell.
2000.
Like there are a lot of really good cars. I dated a girl in high school, had a Prius. There was a bridge near my house. I'd jump it all the time and try and defeat the traction control and do burnouts and shit.
Priuses are really good at jumps.
They're
not
so
great.
good.
They
They're
actually have
heavy.
very
They're
good
really
aerial
good.
weight balance. because of the
Aerodynamically, this
with the batteries low.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100.
But it was fine. It's a good car, right? But it's not like a good car.
Yeah.
It was just like it's a good car, you know, especially for $3,000. Like I got
Yeah,
it
that's
for
not bad.
next to nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, in Gamma's point here, he loves neons. He's not putting that in there for sure.
Oh.
He loves 1995 neons. But that being said, I mean they don't
man.
like. I guess his point was, do they make anything you can go out and buy and enjoy and it's good? I mean, there's a lot of cars. I really want to drive the new WRX really bad. I really
it
want
is
to drive it. I'm jealous.
surprisingly-
of I have to drive
It is
it.
surprising, and to everybody watching as we're recording this, Cobb just came out with their access point for it. There's a couple flashes that are out there, but now Cobb's got theirs with the carb certification.
The BRZ too, right? That just came out. Like the new.
Oh, the GR86.
Is that maybe what I'm thinking of?
Well, they don't have an access port for it.
You're
somebody-
just saying in general though, as a
But
go
as a good car to like hop in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I
go
thought they just
bomb
released
around.
tuning for it. I could be wrong.
Well,
Yeah.
so I have a buddy who just tuned one on EQTech.
I mean, that's what I'm
And
thinking of.
yeah,
Yeah.
Brian Tyson tuned one at
This
EQTech.
is the new
Nope.
2022.
There it is.
There it is.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Tune.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Ginger. Thank
Owned
you.
by Ginger.
Dang,
Yeah.
I wonder what color his hair is.
I mean, it's Ginger with a J, you know.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hey, look,
the-
it's Nigel.
and
Hey,
I think-
Nigel.
Oh, hey, Nigel.
Nigel.
Yeah, the GR Corolla could be really badass if anyone ever gets one. You know, maybe
I don't know. It's
take
never-
a picture of it, turn it into a postcard, and write home about it. Tell your mom and dad how awesome
What
it
are you
is.
trying to say?
Well, you never. It's like, oh, I wouldn't write home about it. That was like that's the saying.
That's good. Now, is that like an Appalachian thing?
It must be
Yeah.
from my Appalachian Wireless days.
Well,
No,
That's a common phrase, man.
well, hold on.
Yeah.
What?
For one
Oh,
thing,
what?
Nigel's a real one.
Oh, yeah.
One love. Miss you.
Dang, heck yeah! Right at the neons.
Man.
No. Gamma. You were my bro a second ago. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Love
Oh.
Nigel. I forget what we're talking about. Appalachian.
And
No, actual good cars.
yeah,
you can
good
go on.
cars
Oh,
you can
good
go buy
cars.
and just like hop in and drive and enjoy.
Like late 90s, early 2000s, Silverados, like half tons.
Well, those
Okay.
are old cars.
No, yeah. But,
I think Dustin's just talking about new cars.
I think
okay.
most people are talking
The
about
GR Corolla was
my bad.
efficient.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
GR Corolla. I
Remember
bet
that.
the Supras seem like they're awesome, especially in stock trim. Other
For
than
a
being
car that
small.
you can just buy and take the trend right out of the
Yeah.
box.
I
Yeah.
had some buddies who have troubles with them highly modified, but that's probably anything.
Well,
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a life expectancy, like fun, fast, reliable,
The
and
big
like,
Type
all that
R
stuff.
seemed like a lot of fun.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the new BRZ is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like the Supra. I was driving behind one the other day and
Well-
thinking to myself, yeah, I would do one of
it
those.
costs twice as much as the BRZ.
Yeah, you can't put a price on style though.
Actually, you can. It's about $60,000.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, see, that looks
hey,
good.
I mean,
That's probably the 4-cylinder one too.
This isn't
Yeah.
just cynicism. I think that the BRZ looked good before the redesign.
That's not a BRZ.
I know, that's a Supra.
yeah, I was like, wait.
Oh, I know.
Hey, can this man wear glasses?
Yeah,
Dang.
there you go.
It's Sonic Yellow too. All right, let's see here. I know that's a Supra. I'm just saying. Oh god. This is not just Tasso cynicism. The BRZ looked better before the redesign.
This used to be the Flatiron Syndicate podcast. Now it's the Tasso Cynicism podcast.
Tassos, yeah,
Sin-
Tasso the Cynic podcast.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
did ride in a new Hyundai, one of those new Elantras. A
Yeah.
guy's been bringing one out to Track Attack.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of cool features in that thing. It is definitely edgy.
Yeah.
And that's the most polite way you can say anything about a car that looks like that.
I think
But-
they actually look pretty good too. Like the Velosters, I think.
well, they don't make those anymore.
I know, but I think
Yeah,
they
but when
look
they
good.
did-
But it's new.
Yeah.
It's the same
Yeah.
as his 2011 whatever. It looks
Yeah.
pretty good too.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
one
I got to
wind-up
see
car.
some of those go around Laguna Seca when I was out there for IMSA, I think.
Yeah?
And it was they were doing pretty good. Like
Yeah.
they were no joke. So the Hyundais, they're on the screen right now. So.
Yeah. I mean, they got a lot of cool features in them. Just dumb stuff that you wouldn't even think of. They have like this blank spot on like the left side of the gauge cluster. It's just like flat plastic or hard plastic with like a circle. And I'm like, I was talking to the
Gauge
guy. I was like,
pod,
what's that
yeah.
for? It's like, dude, it's like you could put a suction cup of whatever you want. Your aim solo,
Yeah.
your cell phone camera mount,
They,
your
they put a
GoPro.
mount in the like
Wow.
a mount location. in the
Something
front.
that like just really is good for suction cup stuff. And
Wow.
it's just like, no one ever thinks about that stuff.
So-
you know?
Subaru's got the BRZ. I think their head is in
Yeah.
the right place for that.
Yeah.
The WRX, I think they did good, but they took away the STI.
Yeah.
But then you got a company like Hyundai that is
Yeah.
that is pushing hard in this performance arena.
Well, so what it shows you is that you need to stay in the WRC if you want to stay relevant.
Ooh.
I guess. You know, World Time Attack Hyundai had a factory. They had a whole bunch of factory-backed cars when I went there in 2019. They had like a V8 minivan,
Yeah.
a bunch of
Yeah.
in vehicles. I mean, I really feel like Toyota and Hyundai are like the two big brands that are pushing.
Well, and Toyota is moving.
And WRC.
I mean,
Are they in
And
WRC?
WRC,
yeah.
yeah.
Toyota's pushing hard. I mean, they've got the Supra. They have
Mhm.
the GR86. I mean,
Mhm.
they're still very deeply entrenched in the performance world.
But yeah, so Kelvin's comment though I think is relevant here. Just talking about ECUs because I think that's the main problem that I would have, other than just the factory weight of all these cars as they come nowadays. They're all because there's safety standards and features and wiring and stuff like that. But they're like a mess wiring wise. Like if I was gonna take one of these modern cars and make them a performance car, try and rally it or something like that, we're talking full ECU strip.
Standalone, yeah.
Full wiring harness strip,
Yeah.
and then I do run a Haltech. To answer your question, I do have experience with Haltech, and I think
Yeah.
it's great.
So for the folks at home, Kelvin's question is which would you recommend, Haltech Late 2500 or Motec?
Those are
Hamlet
just
50?
so different. Those are big, different ECUs too.
Yeah.
So
And Haltech makes a direct injection version, or not Haltech, Motec
Yeah.
has a direct injection version
I
too.
think Motec is the only standalone that can run direct injection. Is that right?
Well,
I don't-
full standalone. Yeah, I
What do you
mean, I know the
I'm
TGA
supported
guys
by them, but I don't know.
direct
Yeah.
on the Motec.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are like two different. Like Haltech, it's kind of like, I don't know, the best way I can think of it, it's kind of like the Toyota. It's like reliable, really basic. You get all the features you can buy in one kit. Motec, it's like it's the boutique. It's like the BMW signature. Like you
Well,
buy all the features that you want, and you pay for every
it's
single
actually
one of them.
it's a little bit deeper than that because we ran into the same thing because we're put the standalone is going in the Pikes Peak car right now and we had to make this decision. And at least it might be different in Australia, I'm not sure, but at least here, Motecs are all basically it's a very fancy computer, but it's kind of like the old days where the computers didn't come with anything on it. Like they have the capability to do anything you want, but there's no core software. So at least here in the States, if you buy a Motec from a dealer, basically the operating software on the Motec is coming from the dealer that you're buying it from.
Right.
So basically, once you buy that Motec from the dealer, you're now married to that dealer because they're the only ones that can support it because they basically put all of the programming and stuff onto the Motec.
Didn't know that. Yeah.
Whereas Haltech, they have the infrastructure in the ECU, so you now have Haltech as a tech reference.
Yeah.
It's
So
easy too. Like it's like the base stuff on the whole. That was one of the most impressive things, especially with how much like short-term correction they can do, like live. What's the one? Closed loop.
Yeah.
Is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Brain injury.
Yeah.
With all like the closed loop stuff,
TBI,
with all the closed loop stuff the Haltecs can do, like I can switch motor parameters off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As long as it's wired correctly, and they have base maps with like the correct inputs and stuff like that. You know, if you have plug and play kits, which are now, I know not legit in Colorado, they took away our
plug and play kits are
plug and play
probably
stuff.
going away just across the board, I would guess.
But with the plug and play stuff, which I got the first time around, it was easy. Like just plug the shit in and it figured itself out good enough to get to the dyno. Right? Like I did not have to like go in there and like, well, try and get it to fire now. Maybe this will work, right?
Adam Wood's car is on an Elite, and he had it tuned, and now he just updates the parameters. He said the thing's running great. It's like basically he's got the O2 sensor wired to it. Yeah, and it's self-learning and self-adjusting.
It's really user friendly.
Yeah, the best advice I could give you for picking a standalone, and this is the advice that was given to me, is make the decision based on the support that you have. You know, like if you have a really good Motec dealer that is going to be there to support you, and a tuner that works with them and is very familiar with it, can be a great option. Like I said, I mean, it is a boutique option. It can literally do anything.
Yeah.
We could be using a Motec right now to be live streaming this podcast if we really wanted
Probably,
to.
Yeah.
But you know, the tuner that we work with, and we should have thought of it.
$15,000 computer. We can live stream.
Just throw it right here.
We're gonna start working on that. Motec, if you're listening,
yes, they are definitely listening. And they're sending. They're writing postcard right now.
Toss it like nope.
Due to bonding contractual obligations, I can't be part of this conversation.
But that's why we picked the Haltech, is because we have the best support with Haltech. The tuner that we use, Harvey at the Boost Creep, he's very familiar with them, and that just made all the sense.
And if you get way off the deep end, they can remote in real easy, right? And I've Facebook chatted with a guy like, hey, do you want me just to remote in? Like one of the tech support guys, they're out on the East Coast.
Yeah.
You want me just to remote in and check that for you? I'm like, I don't have reliable service here. Sorry, dude. But he'd be like I could talk to him on the phone and be like, hey, I'm having this problem. Well, are you on Wi-Fi right now? Yeah. Okay, hold on. Yeah. There you go, you idiot.
That's what Trey Tyler does when I can't use Excel. He just pirates right into my computer.
When you're trying to manage time attack or something.
Yeah. Trying to put in numbers like a freaking
beep boop boop.
Beep, boop, like that cat. Just
right.
That's me on the computer.
Nice. So Trey knows Excel, all right?
Yeah.
Filed away.
Yeah, Trey. Yeah. So just start hacking into everybody's accounts. Anyway. So
what were we even talking? We were answering questions.
So we were answering questions. We talked about the 3-year thing, and then we went real sideways.
Yeah. Well, sorry, that
real sideways, like a drifting platypus sideways.
So on the Motec thing, PowerTune AZ, that company that's in Australia, what they do is they basically bought a fully unlocked ECU. Yeah. And they have a guy who's a code writer. They tune all the cars in that one ECU. And then he he can read and write the code, and he copies the code into these blank 150s. It's crazy to me. So we don't have that kind of support over here.
No.
But it's super cool that there are companies, granted it's in Australia, but there are companies that are doing stuff like that, you know. Super fun stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What about Dylon? What you got?
Dial-up?
No, Dylon, yeah. We got so many questions here, like Dalian. Want to involve the guys behind the curtain?
Yeah, we gotta pull back the curtain.
Yeah, we're just background. We don't answer
All right. Well, so,
Oh,
that's not true.
For
Yeah.
those that are wondering, I got
Yeah.
a light STI hash that's going outside right now.
Even though it's not as lowered as the Forester, it's still
Yeah.
lower than the Forester. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a CRV next to it.
Oh.
I did. I like the rear quarter. I'm like, damn, there is a flying CRV out there.
Oh, right in the fields. Oh,
Dang.
ouch.
Dang. I really did think that too. I
Pretty
got
cool.
hoodwinked
Pretty cool.
big time.
Yeah.
It's because it doesn't have a
Big
scoop
rat
anymore.
poor dog.
It's just scoopless hood life.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's good.
It's because their fuel tanks are. Oh no, I bet they're on the other
It's a
side.
good car.
I mean,
It's a good car.
yeah, I love that car.
Yeah.
It also has to get me 42 miles home, so I have to tell it it's a good car. Otherwise, bad shit's
That's
gonna
right.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, why it's dealing that green GC? So
Mhm.
you saw WRX swap.
Yeah, I think it was dope. I drove around it because it's not tinted windows, which is
Yeah.
nice for me. And I drove around and it's like, dang, there's a GC out there that looks sick on like dual Corbos. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's
that's
got
dope.
he's got some plans for that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I'm not sure how good this mic is, but there have been Subarus cruising past.
yeah.
Like,
We're all getting
so-
dents for that of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just apparently there's just Subarus just cruising on us right now.
That's
So,
right.
That's
Lewis
cool.
is going to be rolling up here anytime. He's going to be driving through the front door.
Yeah.
Sell it. You want this Forza seat? We'll sell it.
That's right.
This used pop bottle? We'll sell it.
Yeah.
Sell that too.
Everything has a price.
Cheers, Kelvin.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I mean, it's full disclosure. I'm supported by Haltech. I'm talking about the chat right here. Kelvin seems like he likes that elite.
Yeah.
I am supported by Haltech. They support my racing stuff like that. But I mean, I bought the first ECU from them before I got the support and the other stuff from them. So
Yeah.
if that says anything, so
Those are that's the ECU is going in the blue car as well, Elite 2500.
Yeah.
And all those guys in East Coast we're talking about is actually Kentucky, and those were all my buddies from when I was a little hoodwink, Fast and Furious
Yeah.
street racer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Andrew DiMartino and Chris Law and Eric Gash and all those guys. Yeah, I know all the, like literally we did a
All
bunch
the
of dumb
Helltails, yeah.
stuff together.
Nice.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's fun.
Cool.
Mhm.
All right, you got more questions? Ask us, because I'm tired of talking to these guys. So I would love if you guys had something cool to talk about. No offense.
Oh no, it's all right.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing, I think we've answered everybody's questions.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we are rolling in around an hour. Do you want to go long, or should we get?
I don't
Think
know.
about
As long
wrapping
as we
up.
got something to talk about, maybe. I want to know how Viet's project is going because he keeps like just teasing it and then leaving. Best beer in Colorado.
Don't I know what he wants us to
Well,
say is Left Hand Brewery's
Uh,
Nitro
well,
Stout. That's what he
I
wants me
mean,
to
I'm
say.
humble and say that I like the beer I brew because home brewer life. Because yeah, it's cheaper. You know, it's $55 for you to make a
We
keg
all
of
we all
beer.
kind of look like some dudes who
But
would be
Keith,
brewing their own
yeah.
beers.
I'm a bourbon guy.
Please, we're looking for you, man.
Yeah.
He's close.
He's close.
It's 5 o'clock, man.
It's gonna be right next to that slammed Rivian. That way
Yeah.
you'll know when you're here.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say look for the Slam CRV.
No,
Maybe
but
you
when
ever
I
have a
rolled in-
Rivian?
When I rolled in, I thought I saw a slammed Rivian out there, and there's apparently it's just they go low,
Yeah.
like they just come with hot boy mode.
They come with
Oh,
that
really?
one mode.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Yep.
GTR Supra. So I've had this thought the other day. The Supers, I think the new Supers are dope. But when I think about like the maximum of what you can do with the car, the Subaru's like engine power plant is its limitation. GTRs, I mean, those dudes are like making 1,500 horsepower.
Well, in
It's
the
a big
2Js,
car,
Like, you go
though,
to
I
a
mean-
real Supra too, and those
Mhm.
2Js
But-
similarly, right? Like you just
Yeah,
slap a
but-
tune on it.
Yeah,
and
but
make
those
4,000.
chassis are just
Yeah.
atrocious. The 410s,
Mhm.
as far as I know. But I mean, you look at look at
Lewis.
yeah, there is one. There's a slammed second gen CRV outside.
Yeah.
there. Yeah. First gen. But yeah, I mean the GTR. I think the GTR. You look at what Life has done with theirs. I mean, shit, they just put a freaking Power Stroke diesel thing in that one, and
But you got
they
so
will have it
but
with
by
current,
the
current
reliably-
generation or previous generation too. Is an
when I
important
read
thing, too.
GTR, I just think R35.
Okay.
Because you can't call them Skylines in the United States, right?
Right.
Because doesn't Ford or Dodge, one of those companies own the Skyline name?
Buick.
Yeah.
Buick.
Is it-
Well, that was the
So-
Skylark, but there
Yeah.
wasn't
Skylark.
Ford Skyliner
I was
like
close.
this.
No, there is. They do.
Yeah.
One of the domestic car companies own the Skyline name.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Huh.
Well,
So
they
yeah,
have
so
the
there's a
Carliner.
beautiful picture
But
of
see, the
Black
irony of that
Motorsports.
is they put a full diesel in their
Well, not in that one,
Yeah,
but
but
in
not a
another
Cummins.
one.
Well, yeah, but now it weighs about as much as it did stock.
Yeah, that is
They're
true.
they're kind of heavy. So
They are
I'm leaning
heavy
towards the
cars.
Supra.
But I mean,
I mean-
segment like VAs. I think Trey was saying his car was like 3,400 pounds, like on a VA. I
Yep.
mean, that car can make 1,500 horsepower. Like I don't know very many cars out there that are making 1,500 horsepower in the Subaru world that are also time attack cars.
So I raced a GTR one time from a stoplight. I was in a F550 ambulance.
Yeah.
And I got smoked.
Hold on.
So they are pretty fast.
I was in an ambulance and I was racing a Skyline.
I was driving an ambulance.
Driving an
It was the F5 is the oh shit, that was a 6.4. So it's like the worst of the Ford motors. Yeah, right?
B24s or whatever.
Yeah, so not a good motor, but you know, full brake boost on that thing off the
Okay.
line.
Okay.
And the GTR, I don't think knew we were racing at first.
Could it have been thrown off by the siren?
Once he picked, no, I wasn't gonna cheat. I wasn't
Okay.
gonna, no,
You were gonna be like,
yeah, we were not code 3. So,
Okay.
but once he figured out we were racing, he was just gone. So the
Yeah.
GTRs are pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
objectively, yeah.
I think Harvey likes tuning them too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a ton of potential. They're just really heavy, so they're gonna be hard on brakes, hard on tires.
But everything can be so
But
big. I just think about the
all cars
maximum
are.
potential of a time attack Subaru on a 4-cylinder. It's still limited. It's still limited. I think that anyway, between the two things, I think the GTR. I think about the GTR.
This is a great question.
Wow,
here.
that
is
About
quite the
AV
question.
Long, for sure.
All right,
Yeah.
let me read it just for the folks at home. So, can you tell us your thoughts about how regulations are going to change the tuning racing industry? And by regulations, I mean the Go Green stuff. Is everything going to move over to EV?
Nah.
Yowza. Yes.
7.
7.
The answer is is it
Potato?
Miata?
Chicken.
Miata is always the
Miata,
answer.
yeah,
Miata is always the answer.
I mean, you
Yeah.
already see. You already see companies already making stuff for the new cars already.
Yeah.
Just like you were saying, Cobb
Yeah.
just came out with their software for the new WRX. Like,
Yeah.
that's a good start.
I think
Yeah.
doomsaying gets clicks, right? And in an industry that's driven by clicks and stuff like that, then saying that, oh god, the world is ending is gonna get clicks in. So you know, people are saying that stuff, but no, motorsports will find a way. Like
I
it
think-
doesn't matter.
Motorsports, it's when I was talking to Brian from iWire, he made the comment that because he's having to get his RS through bar so he can register it again, and he made the comment that the line between street car and race car has been really blurred for a long time, and we've pushed the street car line really far towards the race car, and I think it's probably that line between street car and race car is going to be. You can't go nearly as far as you once could. You're going to have to make the decision like, is this a car for me to drive to work and from point A to point B, or is this a race car much sooner than you would previously? I think that's going to be the biggest decision.
So I think but as a case study kind of for this, we don't have any direct case studies for like a global clampdown on emission stuff
Yeah.
or all this kind of stuff, right? But look at rally cars for a long time have not been legal really, but have been legal a little bit, right? You
Yeah.
know? So there's a lot of stuff that like you can fly below the radar and it works. I mean, don't go out there and what are those YouTube diesel guys that got like $1 million fine and stuff like that?
Right.
So yeah, don't be those guys.
Right.
And you can probably fly below the radar for longer than we're gonna have interest in this whole kind of situation.
So the biggest challenge right now, being on like this side of it, so that we're kind of like mired in it, is from the manufacturer standpoint,
Sure.
because what is happening now to a degree that has never happened to date before is that manufacturers are now realizing that they are under a microscope and that their liability and exposure is greater now than it's ever been before.
But look at what started the car scene in the first place was hot rodding, right? There's guys in their garage or whoever in their garage, you know, making modifications, stuff
Well,
like this,
but
right?
that's
So-
where I was going with that, is that now the problem is those manufacturers are like, there's just a lot of stuff that they cannot produce anymore. And so like you have new cars that are coming out and there's just stuff that they cannot produce.
Yeah,
So,
I
like,
mean, there's
my-
no catted downpipes, no TGV deletes. I mean, all these things are
Catted downpipes
catless
still
downpipes. I
yeah.
mean, catless
Yeah.
downpipes.
But even now, like the days of catted downpipes are numbered as well. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be challenging.
But I made my own downpipe. I made my own TGV deletes.
Yeah.
So I don't need a manufacturer to make these things
Right.
in order to make a race car or have fun in the industry.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
Like,
you
it's-
don't. But the industry is just not there. Right? I mean, people that
it's the industry support, like from the power standpoint, and so like you have the new GR Corolla, and let's say availability isn't an issue with that car, and anybody that wants one can get one. I think that the ceiling for that car is going to be a lot lower now than what it once was, and so like there's so like Dust, like you're talking about time attack threshold for a Subaru running against 1,000 horsepower cars.
Yeah.
For a long time, just buying this and figure like someday I'll figure out how to make 800 or 1,000 horsepower reliably in this car. It's possible, but like now, like, can you buy a new car and still assume you're going to be able to find a way to do that?
Right.
Yeah,
that's a lot more of an X factor.
There's reality to that for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think there's a silver lining to it, which is all of a sudden it puts way more importance on what I think are the really cool things, which is like suspension and brakes and handling of a car.
Yeah.
So now you cannot use power to mask a deficiency nearly as easily as you once could.
That's like my main move.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
That was my ace.
Yeah.
You're like, turn up the boost control.
The other side of it, and I want to throw this out there from like a trackside perspective, is that there isn't any track that's taken EV fires serious yet.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. So like we've been talking about it with because some of the cars that have come to Grid Life and things. Jeanette Negri, who used to be our track manager at PPR, was like, Ryan, what do we got to do to try and make sure that we can actually handle a fire? I was like, well, you got to get it off the track as fast as you can because it's going to destroy the pavement, and then you need to submerge it in water. I don't know how you're going to do that with something that is like on fire. So I mean, as much as I don't think EVs are going to be the more the prevalent that EVs become, they'll create their own issues. Unfortunately, you know, power draw at the track, like the kind of chargers that they want, you know, emergency service access on, like there's a lot of things that, like when I was on fire, 2 minutes it was out, and I'm like, damn, that sucks.
Right.
You know, you have an EV on fire, I mean, it's insane, you know?
I think Gamma brings up a good point here, though, where like a lot of folks don't take fire control seriously enough, right? I mean, because at least now Rally has gone to a pre-plumb system and stuff like that, right?
They require an onboard fire suppression system that is more than just an extinguisher.
But my hill climbing doesn't require that. I'm going to put one in voluntarily with this next build because I'm going to make a space for it and everything like that. I mean, time attack safety at the lower levels is going deadly speeds with a helmet, and that's it, right?
I mean, there's definitely been some time attack, like high exposure time attack drivers.
Keith makes a great point.
That's a good point.
I wish I would have thought of that.
Oh,
Gee, I wouldn't have cracked my car.
But that we're getting a lot of exposure and getting kind of chastised for not having the safety equipment for kind of what they're doing. And as much as I hate to say it, in that moment, that pure pressure worked to put some of those people kind of like, you know, maybe I should take this more serious. And you kind of get caught up in the moment. I can say that for myself, where you don't necessarily think of it. I was surrounded by people who were already doing motorsports to the point they're like, dude, you need to be in a fire suit. Let's not fuck around. But not everybody has that same mentality or has that same support system or
my baseline is that punk ass kid that like do the sketchy shit. Right? Like that's I work from that baseline of
to quote Tasca from episode 69, I was doing dirtbag shit, I'm gonna keep doing dirtbag shit.
Yeah, shit.
After that was the sound episode.
I don't know, maybe I forgot who I am.
Oh man.
But you look at, I mean, like the fire thing for EVs and stuff like that. There is so much money behind that they'll have a solution for that soon. You know, whether it's maybe you got two EV like competition vehicle extinguisher handles. One's for a passenger compartment fire, one's for a cell fire, right? And it just bloods a cell. Because all you're doing, it's just a thermal runaway condition that you're trying to prevent, right? So if you just had some sort of like cooling liquid that you just flooded the battery cell with,
it probably doesn't happen really fast. Like might be fast. You would probably have to automatically discharge the fire suppression, because like by the time you go to pull it, it might be too late.
Do you remember when we had that lithium battery out of the hill climb car at High Plains?
Oh, I do, because I was the one that was like shaking and like going with the drill, like get it out.
Yeah, and I remember Glenn saying, "Just leave it out there, just in the middle of the concrete somewhere out there," because he didn't know what to do with it. And that was the tiny battery, you
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
those dumb little batteries.
Yep.
But
Foam and water boat, they work similar ways.
yeah.
I'm not gonna get into fire science class here right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. I just see what they do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But it'll be addressed, right? And when
well,
yeah,
and
probably
battery technology is going to change in just a couple of years. Like they're going to go away from lithium ions to a dry cell battery. I think that's coming like
Yeah.
2025.
I mean, stuff going on like in power walls are pretty fire safe, like the Tesla stuff.
Yeah.
And so I mean, there's so much money behind that right now that
Yeah,
it's
that is-
impossible. It's not gonna.
That is where
figure
all the
itself out.
development dollars are going.
Yeah.
And so it's, I mean,
Look at how much safer they've gotten in the last 10 years versus the first 10 years of automobile racing.
Yeah.
They were still trying to
Hell
figure
yeah.
out, like,
do you think so? What you're saying is we're in the no seatbelt leather helmet version
Arm-
of
arm-
EVs
arm
right
out.
now?
free
outside,
helmet,
yeah.
free
Yeah.
sanctioning
Like
body.
driving
Yeah,
like
so-
Of EVs, yeah. See, so yeah, they got some time, for sure.
Yeah.
I do want to answer a question that they said earlier. Is PRI? I don't know if you guys are going to PRI. I saw
No.
Keith is going to PRI. I'll be at PRI, and
Nice.
Pikes Peak International Raceway is going to have a booth there, and
With
the yellow card's
the
going to
yellow
be
car.
in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be hella clapped, really ugly, and look like it just got done jumping shit at Button Willow because
Yeah.
that will actually be what
That's
happens.
what you're doing
Yep.
next weekend. You're
Yeah.
jumping
Yeah.
shit at Buttonwell.
Jumping shit at Button Willow, yep,
That's
next
awesome.
weekend.
Race
So,
cars look good dirty, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
Small recommendation: maybe jump less shit.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Maybe keep the sweet jumps under control.
Dude, I have spent a ridiculous amount of time. Thank you. A ridiculous amount of time actually cleaning the underside of the car,
Wow.
mostly because I don't want to get us in trouble for leaking fluids on
God.
Yeah. Right.
Oh no.
the
Yeah.
we had to
Yeah.
bring its own little diaper. But yeah, underneath there you see all the stuff that like the exhaust and all the things that have jumped and the carnage it's created. But yeah, it's been a great car.
Well, cleaning them by the sound of it, that's weight savings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I've done a lot. So, and a motor, courtesy of Keith, that motor's still running really strong. Even had a 9,500 RPM day at Topeka,
sweet.
and it's still kicking.
Heck yeah.
I don't want to take my chances too much, but yeah, I think that's going to be fun. And I'm just looking forward to seeing my friends and stuff. Like
Yeah.
people I've met with like AIM and a couple of guys that we've talked to from the industry over the years and just having a good time. I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately.
I-
Dang, is that Lewis right there?
Is that Lewis?
Lewis, is that you?
Lewis, you drive a Ford?
Dang, Lewis, did you drive your Ford Focus here, dude?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'll be fun. I'm excited about
Yeah.
it. I am every year. So.
I truly wish
Oh,
we could
yeah.
have gone to PRI this year, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah, we're actually in the background. We're in the process of a huge change here at work, and that's eating up a ton of time.
Oh, yeah.
And so, man, yeah, there's just like, yeah, I don't think there's time to. Well, SEMA's just completely off the table, but even
Yeah.
though PRI, I just don't think is in the cards this year.
Hell yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll get there. And we're hopefully the car's going to be back at Super Lap Battle in March.
Better be.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Was that Lewis?
Booth.
Hell
Lewis?
yeah. Did he drive a Focus here though?
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, now that's why. So
man.
Lewis, if anyone wants to know at home, Lewis drives a like 2016 Ford Focus as his daily. I'm guessing it's Platinum Edition with the heated seats.
And all you gotta
Oh,
do
yeah.
is show up. You get mentioned. On
Yeah.
here, right?
Drive up to the shop. You'll get a shout out.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So you want to find out how professional and unapproachable we are?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man.
Show up and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, PRI is going to be a good show. I'm more sorry that I'm missing it this year than ever before.
Yeah.
It seems like it's really turning into the center of what like performance cars and race car stuff is, and SEMA seems to have really kind of gone off kind of into the truck zone. And
It's SEMA this year.
Overlanding, right?
Yeah, that's what it was definitely the last couple of years. With the big manufacturers pulling out of SEMA, I'm going to be really curious to hear
Yeah.
what the feedback is. Savannah is down there.
well, so that I heard about this.
Yeah.
Like, so manufacturers leaving SEMA.
Yeah.
So who left? Like, who is not at
I
SEMA
think it's
this year?
General Motors and Ford, right?
Wow.
Those are the two
And I heard
big-
Dang.
Toyota.
And I heard Toyota too, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are, when I went last year at the SEMA, which is my only year, my first year, the GM, the Ford, and the Toyota booths were so massive. They were just huge.
Yeah, and they always
Huge.
are.
And so, like, yeah, the size of their vacancy is definitely a big hole for sure.
Yeah. I think Yeah, I don't. I mean, the show's been changing for the last handful of years, and I mean, the last time I was there, gosh, I don't even remember, 2018, 2017. So it's been a while, but just the off road and trucks are just taking it over, and it was like hard to find cars. So yeah, I don't know. It just seems like it's really losing its footing from what it once was. But PRI, which is now owned by SEMA, I mean, it seems to be really kind of really focusing more on the street car and
Bluetooth dry chest.
Oh,
So this is one thing I think has been really funny at SEMA lately. Gamma said there's been some interesting cars at SEMA, and this has been a trend that I cannot get past the Bluetooth drive shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will say-
I love a good meme.
So for the people at home, this is basically cars that just they are not functional. They do not drive. They're just literally.
I mean, it's
show
been
pieces.
so long powder coating that axle. Like all I can, and polishing the side plates on
Yep.
them.
Or even that yoke. Think
Yeah.
about polishing that cast yoke right
Oh,
there.
man, like I hope they started with billet for that.
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say though, with the big companies leaving SEMA, it could actually create, and this is why I'm curious about it, create more of an opening for like smaller people like me.
Oh,
That's what I was
for
gonna
You know,
ask, right?
to get into a show like that. Like I know Savannah's down there with her Z. You know,
Yeah, I
and-
got a handful of friends there, like that. I mean, does it open it up? Like
Yeah,
you're saying,
well,
right? Like,
but-
does that make it a better show or more relevant to?
Well, but that's what happened at PRI. So
Yeah.
part of the problem, like going back a ways, was that SEMA was charging an insane premium for any kind of booth or display, and so that chased all the little guys out initially, and then a lot of those people went to PRI because it was way less expensive. So
Yeah, overlanding Subarus are actually where it's at.
that's becoming a really big.
Yeah, and Bluetooth, that's it.
The 2023
Yep.
Bluetooth.
Man.
But it's because of that, like I'm like one of the reasons I went to SEMA for a few years in a row, like 3 or 4 years in a row, and it got to the point where like I was seeing all the same things because the cost of the booth space was so high that none of the small guys, none of the startups could afford to come in there. So you're just seeing all these big guys that can afford to spend $30,000-$60,000 on a booth, in the hopes of like making that worthwhile. And so like the small guys that are coming up with something new and innovative, it was a lot harder to find at SEMA. But it sounds like that's a lot more of what PRI is based on, and now it's really going into a lot more motorsports stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so on
Maybe
that same subject,
on overlanding.
yeah, the PRI booth cost, I don't know what it costs for SEMA, but for our 10x30 booth, I think was a little over $3,800.
Okay.
And we had to pay for electrical drop-in, so that cost more. You had to pay for extension cords, that costs more. Like, essentially because of the state of Indiana, they have everything that you have in there outside of the material that you bring has to be set up and provided by Indiana.
Right.
So it is kind of crazy. I think it is, but I don't know what the cost is for SEMA.
From what it used to be was absurd.
Yeah.
Like add a zero to all of those numbers.
Yeah, I believe it. And to see people like Josh Hawka, I mean, to see his car like in big giant like advertisements and stuff for like big companies like StopTech and Ram and things, and that Savannah's car down there, and Nick Steniford's car like in Koenig. These are like all of our friends and all people that are like us. Like I just feel like 3 years ago or pre-COVID, that wasn't necessarily a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So it could be the exciting side of the change, you know, with the manufacturers pulling out.
Well,
There's more room for us to play.
for sure, and just kind of got to give it time and let just everything see. I mean, it's very possible to like, you know, what is the future direction of performance, and a lot of the manufacturers just don't know, and so they're not wanting to like come out with a lot of new stuff. They're just kind of sitting back on the sidelines, waiting. You know, and so maybe that just leaves a little bit more window open for people that have a car right now or want to put something out there right
It's
now.
important to remember that motorsports is just this weird asterisk, an aside to the whole car industry, right? Like it's
just the whole world in general. I mean, I have this conversation with our sponsor buyer, basically, or our media manager, and I was like, a coupon clipper at home, you know, some mom making TikTok videos about clipping coupons and saving money on Tide is going to have way more of a reach than almost all the entire motorsports segment. So you have to realize the people you're dealing with in the motorsports segment, it's a much smaller but more loyal pool. You know, the people who are invested in your in your journey, or the people invested in your brand, or the people invested in your stuff, or they're not necessarily trying to save money. I mean, obviously everyone wants to save money. The people who are watching the coupon clippers are just entertained by, hell yeah, I want to get Tide for free,
No,
Right.
you know, and that costs Tide money,
Right.
you know. And for us, I mean, we're all trying to do the thing we're all trying to do, and
Right.
if there is ways, you know, we try and help each other out, and I don't know, it's just a more loyal.
It's a small
Foundation.
community, but it's a tight community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Tap Pots, baby.
Oh,
Tide
man.
Pots, baby.
Oh.
Let's go.
Yeah, comedians, you know, all that
Yeah.
politics. I mean, everything is
Yeah.
bigger ultimately than the segment of motorsports.
But none of those guys can drive better than me.
Wow. Okay. All right. All right.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, as it has been well over an hour at this point, wow, we're coming up on an hour and a half. We should wind this thing down. But to do that, I think what we should do is we should all make a prediction for, let's see, 100 episodes is about 2 years.
Uh-huh.
So 2 years from now for our episode 200 show. And what we will have done, or what we will be about to do in 2 years from now.
I'm trying to decide if we're still going to be alive then.
Yeah.
Are we going to be like, are we going to burn our candle?
Well, geez, man, left
Wow.
quick jumps. You
Oh.
got a chance of
Yeah.
making it.
I don't know. Sometimes when you reach for the
2
stars,
years.
man.
Yeah, you drown in space.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you land among the stars.
Well, yeah,
Fair
what is
enough.
it?
Stars
It's
are way
close
further
to the
away.
sun, right?
Shoot from the moon. I mean,
Yeah.
all the free cheese you can eat, right?
Oh,
Right?
gosh.
Yeah.
Like
Free
fromage,
cheese.
like cheese or whatever.
Fromaggi.
I'm not sure this is what they tuned in for.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, man.
Cancel.
Wow.
dang.
All right, yeah.
It wasn't the
Dang.
neons that got us canceled.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think everything happened so fast in the last 2 or 3 years that we've had. I didn't even think 3 years from now we would be where we're at, or I would be where
Right.
I'm
And
at.
that's, yeah.
You know,
Tom's
so
been
I
saying the
can't
same
even
thing.
imagine trying to predict 2 years from now.
Take a guess.
alive.
Take a guess. Well, you will have driven up Pikes Peak at least once.
At least,
Yep.
hopefully, yeah, at least
Hopefully twice.
once. Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
avoid the sweet jumps,
Yeah.
especially on Pikes Peak. They're not that
Yeah,
sweet.
they're not
Right.
that sweet. Yeah, the curbing is not curbing.
No, stay off the curbs, no sweet jumps.
Yeah.
You'd be all right.
Yeah.
Hammer down. Don't
Yeah.
lift. Man, what? 2 years, right? I'm gonna say either exactly the same or way different.
And that's toss up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
2 years from now,
Uh huh.
we'll say what, 2-3 years from now, I will have gotten platypus back on track.
Yeah.
I'll have more beard.
More beard. Okay.
Definitely like
Yeah.
going for about
I
here.
think mine's going the wrong direction in the last 3
Oh
years.
no.
Oh man,
Look
that,
like
that
a
is
Yeah.
that is your symbol. Yeah.
I can't help it. I
Is
don't
that
know
not
what.
Yeah.
trimmed? That's natural length right now?
No,
That's
they just
trimmed.
trimmed it the other day, like
Oh,
3
yeah.
inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
All right.
I want to put a lap time down for I want to be on the whiteboard there with a
Yeah.
lap time for
Yeah.
platypus. So,
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
2 years, Blue GD still superior.
Still here.
Dang.
5 into 1. Thank you. Thanks for chiming in, and thanks for.
You didn't
Yeah.
read that as Sanda?
All right.
Sandal?
Sandal. That's what I got.
Sandal?
Sandal.
Hell
How do
yeah.
you say your name?
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, what is the phonetic?
Phonetic that.
It's going to be like Panda L. Like,
Oh.
51. 51.
Oh. 51.
Five
5 and a
and
1.
I mean, it
Or
is like
Oh, that makes way more. Or Sandal.
Or Sandal.
5 and a 1.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was another thing I was thinking of
Good
too. The where we're at right now, at least along with our motorsports journey, we're all in different places, right? Hopefully
Ooh.
people
Right.
Sliding into your DMs.
Yeah. Hold
You
on.
know how long it took him to respond to me? And
Oh
And
man.
he's looking right now.
Hell yeah. Close that there.
yeah.
But hopefully there's more people. Like there's so many people who have gotten more serious or more participating in motorsports because as I'm excited to see in 2 years how much larger that community keeps growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
You
gonna
know,
say that
like
one, too.
all my friends in Texas and my friends in the East Coast and the West
Yeah.
Coast and stuff that like, man, you guys are so cool. I'm like, you can do it too.
Yep.
How?
That's
And
Yeah.
they're doing it, you
Yeah.
know. And one of my buddies at CI River went out and did like his first 2 track days based on the conversation we talked about. And now he needs an engine. So I mean,
Oh.
he's going through the
Yeah,
same trials and
yeah.
tribulation, but
Yeah,
hopefully
right.
we're
We've
all
been
here
there.
working
Yeah, right.
together to
Yeah.
help circumvent some of those things. So
Yeah, and keep the energy going, keep the
Mhm.
motivation going, get the car back on the track, and,
Yeah.
and figure out those problems and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
keep
I
developing.
want to modify my answer because like I was having the same thought as Ryan.
Yeah.
Like myself, yeah, maybe I'm the same place or in a different place in probably
Mhm.
2 years,
Yep.
whatever. I don't care, right?
Yep.
But I do want to see this community keep growing. I want to see more involvement from these
Mhm.
folks. Like, yeah, come on, Gamma, get on here, right?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
Ginger, get on here, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
let's.
Yeah, AP
2
long.
years,
Yeah,
man.
2 years.
Elon,
Yeah.
Let's
Get those
Clock's
podiums.
ticking.
let's get those
Podiums.
podiums, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Let
it's
us know.
hell yeah, to the top. Can't
Yep.
stop.
Yeah.
Subies to the
Do
top.
this thing.
Can't
Yeah.
With the
Both of them.
hashtag Subis to the top.
Subies to the top.
Mhm.
For
We'll
sure.
make that trending.
Yeah.
So John,
Yes.
2 years
2-year
from
goal.
now.
I would like in 2 years, and I think it's possible, to actually be able to like go and like 5-6 track days. I think it'd be fun to just run with NASA. I don't
Track day
really.
with the platypus.
Yeah, I don't really want to I don't really want to compete. Like I don't want to do time attack, but like just be like a staple on HPD3. I think would be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
I'm
That's my goal.
biting my tongue.
Well, I think like one of the
Talk
most
about getting to the track. Right?
some of the best feedback I got from everything I've said this year was the idea like that your expectations should match like your experience,
Yeah.
you know. And so so many people want to go straight to the hill climb. What you're talking about is like, no, I really want to have something that where my goals are reasonable, approachable,
Yeah.
and I'm in a happy, safe spot,
Yep.
which is
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, to be honest here, for everybody that's listening at the end, I mean, the Flatiron. So I run Flatirons tuning, and this takes an incredible amount of time and brain space and energy to keep going. And I mean, my biggest goal, I would be much happier if in 2 years' time, like you're saying, this community, this Flatiron Syndicate community is even bigger. We have more people that are coming up to us that say that we inspire them to go out and do something and get to the track than if I myself got to the track.
Yeah.
And I want to just be able to keep doing this and keep helping other people do what they want to do versus just me get my car to the track. Because I mean, for one, I mean, this is what I do every day, but I mean, this has really become this is my race car in a lot of ways. And so like this is where like if I'm at home on the weekends and I got some time, like I'm thinking about like what other videos can we do, what podcasts can we do, what else can we do for this community and stuff versus just like, all right, I got to go to my garage and fiddle with my car. And I mean, sometimes it gets in there and maybe I need to do that a little bit more, but like this has become my priority more than just getting to the track.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my hope. But hey, maybe I can do both.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be both.
It could be both.
Like-
It could be both. But I mean, this is yeah. I mean, that's to a large extent. I mean, that's why I work so slowly because it's just
Yeah.
what little time I have is spent doing other things or I don't know, late nights here, whatever.
I mean, I think about even before when I first started doing this, how much more present I was on like making videos and social media, and how much more present I've been in like just the Colorado motorsports scene, and how it's been like a sacrifice and a give and take, and it's just I 100% understand what you're saying. It's like sometimes you have to give up stuff to try and do other things.
Yeah.
Sometimes that for the betterment of the community or the betterment of like everyone.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because, you know, Ginger's talking about how I don't respond to my DMs, but that's probably something a lot of people would say. And
Right.
it's just so many things. I'd like to be on the Discord more.
Right.
I'd like to be tracking my journey more. And it's tough. I'm not using it as an excuse, but it is. There's so many different things that we can be doing.
Well, and all of
You
it
know.
takes it takes so much time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yep.
what are the I have a very bad habit, which is I get car parts and then I don't do anything with them.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So
Mhm.
so like again at the end spoilers. So I have a set of wheels that I've had now for 3 years.
Oh man.
They have not been on the car yet. I've had them. Now what's even worse is I got tires for them last year. Like remember the tire shortage at the
Oh,
end
yeah,
of
yeah.
2021? It's like oh.
Great
oh,
tire
There's these new
shortage, yeah.
Kumos coming. I if I'm gonna get these tires, I should really get them now.
Mhm.
And so I did, and they're mounted, and they've still been in my basement. They haven't been put on the car yet because, like, I know how I want to do it, and I want to document it and stuff like that. So it just takes forever for me to do stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff down on the 335 that I put on, or a lot of it, that a lot of those parts were in my basement for like 2 years before we finally put all the pieces on the car. Yeah, it takes time, but I mean, it's because it's for a bigger purpose
Right,
than
yep.
than just throwing it on the car.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, giving back I think is really rewarding, right?
it
And
is
I think it's
100%.
you know, I really like racing. It's the core of who I am.
Yeah.
It is what I don't know. It's what makes me happy or makes me feel alive and stuff like that. But more rewarding than that is actually like giving back to
Yeah.
the community, helping somebody get out to hill climb. There's a couple folks now that that I've been able to help get out
Yeah.
to CHCA events, or and people are like, "Oh, sorry, I don't want to take your time,
Well, it's
man."
cameras on here, but you know.
Yeah, rock, time trial. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right. You're super involved in this and the time trial stuff
Yeah.
too, right? Like getting another person out there is, don't discount for anyone out there. Like
Yeah.
we've said this for all 100 podcasts now. We want people to get out there, and we want you to ask us if there's something we can do to help. Right?
For sure.
Like it's,
For sure.
all the podcast hilariousness and cynicism and all that kind of stuff aside, right? Like this is the reality of all this kind of stuff, right? This is the thing kind of underneath the surface here. So
Yeah. Well, and I think we have that. And
That was
because
just
that-
a Rivian black.
slammed Rivian.
Yeah.
Jeez, so much disrespect.
Obviously,
See that?
you
Wow.
On it, nuts.
It's
Jeez.
golly, and it
Sorry.
doesn't. No,
Jeez. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Deviation there.
sorry.
well, but so what I was saying is that squirrel. Yeah,
It looks good.
I think
Yeah.
that motivation, it comes through with everything that we've done to the podcast, and I think that's why everybody that's listening, why you guys are like, you appreciate what we do, and that's awesome, and that inspires us, and I think it's 2 more years of that, yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Kevin says hi.
What's that? Is that
What's
Kevin
that,
D
Kevin?
from like Rocky Mountain Time Trials? Kevin doesn't look like his car though. Probably not. Kevin Dorcher.
Yeah, on the pile of parts thing, have you seen the meme going around of all Halloween costumes, right? And one is like, I don't know, experienced car guy or whatever. It's like $10,000 of parts in the family room.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what's the
Man,
fuck?
I have done
Yeah.
that. I've done that.
I like
Yeah.
that. Who is that? Who's that actor is on it? And he just looks like he's just had
It's
enough.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Yeah.
Yeah.
You white, you Ben Affleck.
Yeah. You white? You Ben Affleck. Yeah. We
Yeah.
can't talk like that. Canceled.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
As a movie quote,
Movie quote.
so it made it through the censors that time, so I'm good to say
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, that's pretty funny.
Man.
Yeah, there's a lot of disrespects in those Halloween spirit costumes this year.
Yeah.
no.
Did you see the one of
Yeah,
the
Phil.
HPD drivers? And,
Uh-huh.
yeah, everyone knows. Everyone's seen all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's super fun. But
Awesome.
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is, I think, a good place to end on. And holy cow, this might be one of our longest podcasts ever. But
In the world.
it was a good
Yeah.
one. We should do another live one in about another 100 episodes.
I like
Yeah.
the questions and stuff. I want to
Yeah,
do
me
more of
too.
this, right? Like,
Yeah.
so like everyone wait till tomorrow, and then call John. Ask for John. Call Flatirons Tuning's office line.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Great.
And then
Okay.
whoever, because it's usually Viet or someone pick up. But he's
Yeah.
really, if you want to talk about like real smart stuff, talk to Viet, right?
Yeah.
But call, I'll be like, actually, can I talk to John?
Yeah.
And then when he says, hey, I'm like, hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
I listen to the podcast. Do more Q&As.
Some more Q&As.
Yeah.
He'll go, come on, man, I got stuff to do. I'm trying to edit the podcast.
John, you look
Yeah,
like you're coming
I mean-
down with a little bit of a cold.
Yeah. Man,
a little raspy.
I'm getting a little. I don't know if I can see myself coming in tomorrow. I
Oh
don't know.
no. Oh no.
Yes. No.
So we'll give you actually, if you call a bunch, then eventually Viet will give you his home number.
And then you can call Viet at home. Viet at home.
So
Man.
the phone number.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
Uh,
All right.
Well, but no,
Right.
if you guys like this, comment below. I think this video is going to be up tomorrow at the normal time. But if you get to the end and you like this, you want to see more of it, put it in the comments below. Maybe we'll figure it out. This has been a little bit crazy, but now we've done it once. It'll be a little bit easier next time.
Yeah.
super BS episode. Here, over
Yeah.
here, over here. Super BS episode.
Yeah, the cape and the tights and the mask, the whole bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually,
we'll wear
you guys don't
tights.
know this at home, but I'm actually Tasso,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just playing.
I'm
Ryan.
actually
No,
John. I
that
run
was-
Flatirons Tuning.
So it's going to be on the. That was an April Fool's
And they
joke.
just gave me a
Oh,
first
yeah.
and said, "Hey, come in here."
Yeah, that's Ryan Dussex.
That's right. That's yeah.
That's Viet.
Yeah. All right.
Viet's
Man.
Viet. You can't mess with Viet. He is the original piece right there.
Yeah.
Just that beauty.
Heck
So,
yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
thanks, guys. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
tuning in.
Thanks.
Stay tuned, and until next time, we'll see you.
bye bye.
Bye.